Okay, speaking about best memories with Eplan, obviously it's always great if you see customers succeed. Right? On a private base, what Eplan offers us is a lot of traveling. I've been in my life with Eplan already at 11 different countries. It's data for customer visits, for fairs like the Rockwell fair, or for company meetings. If I have to summarize what the best memory was at Eplan, when I first traveled to the United States and saw the Chicago skyline for the very first time, then I thought, yeah, I'm here.
All right, so if you ask me what is my best memory working at Eplan, well, that's actually a tough question to answer because I have too many memories to share. But the top two, I would say, the global sales meeting that we had last year in Germany. So that gave us the chance to meet the Eplan colleagues from all over the world. So Eplan China, Brazil, Germany, France. So yeah, it was very good to meet all the people behind the screens coming from different countries, see what they do and what they recommend from their side. The second good memory that I have is actually for my team here in Houston, when I was pregnant and I was craving Chick-fil-A all the time. So I made the guys go to Chick-fil-A every other day to have the same thing for at least 3 months and no one complained. So yeah, I'm definitely blessed to have these guys working with me in the same office.
One of my favorite memories of working with Eplan was when I was relatively new and I attended the Rockwell Automation Fair in Chicago. It was really impressive to see the size. I'd always been at events as an attendee, but never as a participant in the event, and it was really cool to see customers all over from the U.S. Obviously, we're in Houston and we deal with our customers here, but to see other industries that are not prominent here in the local area, and just see the organization as well. That was a really cool memory that I can probably pinpoint. And then obviously the day-to-day, one of my favorite parts of working with Eplan is primarily the people, the team that we have here in Houston, and also all across the U.S. Really ambitious and driven team. And everybody is really on the same page and trying to help our customers, which is really nice.
So my favorite part of work with Eplan is diversity. Every week is different than the previous week. Every new week we discuss solutions for our customers with our colleagues. We have an amazing team here in Houston with sales, inside sales, and professional services. We're working tightly together, and yeah, that's why it's really awesome.
One of the coolest or greatest thing that I think our customers get from Eplan is not only the state-of-the-art technology that we provide and the solutions, but it's also the benefit that they get from also the knowledge of our team, and myself, Reem, and Kruno, we really engage with our customers, and they get the benefit of all of our combined experiences, and they can really leverage our experience, our know-how to help them optimize their own processes and ultimately benefiting their business.
So my answer definitely will complete what Alessandro and Kruno said. It's the diversity that's my favorite part working at Eplan. So either whenever we're talking about the team, so we have different academic backgrounds, different knowledges, and so on. And also whenever we're working with customers, we have different types of customers, different ecosystem parts. So we see small panel shops, we see the big multi-international companies. So they come in different sizes and different technologies. It's that diversity when it comes to day-to-day business that's definitely keep us enthusiastic and excited about doing what we do.
The coolest benefit what customer can get out of Eplan is people. People who care about the success and efficiency of our customers, and ultimately people who become friends.
If I had to highlight a booth area this year, I really think it would be something, the webinars, videos, and podcast section. I know we make strides to put out a lot more, how-to videos, content, really good experiences also from our customers and our podcasts, kind of learning from their successes, their mistakes, and learn, from our customers and their own journey with Eplan. So I really think check that part out in our booth.
One of the main benefits that our customers can take advantage of is actually the collaboration that Eplan provides them with. So the collaboration between engineers, the communication that becomes easier for them to exchange the data, the collaboration between departments. So let's say manufacturing and electrical department, the collaboration between them and Eplan as a staff as well. So that's a key benefit that we provide to our customers to help them succeed. I would always recommend visiting the live webcast or the live chat. So that's a good benefit that you can get out of the fairs, because you have direct contact with the experts. You can talk to them, ask them direct questions, and they'll answer you right away. And that's definitely something that I would take advantage of whenever I have the chance to.
So I would recommend our customers who are visiting our booth to check out first the virtual chat with our desk in order to get informed of what they're looking for and what kind of solutions do we offer at our automation fair. Thanks for participating this year.
Hi, I'm Christopher Aldrett, writer-director of the Eplan Digital Journey. I hope you're enjoying Rockwell Automation Fair at Home. Today we're rerunning episode 4, now about the PLCs. In case you missed it back in July, this is the one where our hero goes from IAB, or Integrated Architecture Builder, to Eplan, to Studio 5000, and then back again. After you watch the clip, we're going to be here in chat live, so feel free to post any questions that you might have, and we'll answer you right away. Thank you for joining us, and now on with the show.
Previously on A Digital Journey, we looked at how to unmake a mess of things. We found out the limitations of video on WebEx. We found out that budget shouldn't be a problem. Means that if a budget doesn't exist, then it isn't a problem. And there is no limit to what you can do with PowerPoint. Given enough time and not enough sleep, but I digress. We met a hardworking engineer named B, and B had a problem. B was faced with a massive internal language barrier. The sales guy didn't speak designer, who didn't speak customer, who spoke of a need to just get his machine built. B realized that if she could just match all of these different needs with a basic list of designs that she had already made, she could take all the little parts and pieces from the jobs in the past and match them with the customer's needs in the present. Later, we found out that this was called cogeneer, meaning collaborative engineering, known as eBuild, part of ePulse. This is completely straightforward. Hey, ask your salesperson. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 4th episode of A Digital Journey. It is a 12-part series learning how to do stuff a little faster, hopefully a little better, and with less effort. I will be your moderator, Andrew Fortenberry. After the episode, we will have a Q&A session. So during the episode, please post any chats into the chat bar, and I will be sure to answer them. Please leave us a note on how we are doing, questions, comments, and if so, even any nasty remarks. Today, we are going to talk about PLCs. For those of you who do not like acronyms, we are going to talk about programmable logic controllers, the sturdy little boxes that bring all of our wonderful designs to life. For the past 50 years, these computers have been the brains in some form or another behind all industrial processes. When you start to move your control design from schematic, loop diagrams, to PLC, you are immediately faced with a question. How? And now Sergio will answer.
We're going to start with the assumption that most sane people make logical decisions, or at least intend to. We assume that any design will involve many different disciplines, mechanical, electrical, and the catch-all controls. Eventually, decisions made in one discipline will affect the decisions made in another. Ideally, the design process would involve a collaborative approach and spiraling towards an effective, efficient design. However, in practice, resources and time run short. Competitive interests disrupt the processes and things will spiral, however, not always in control. Of particular interest is the crossover point between the schematics and the PLC. Again, we make some assumptions. We assume that we know the capabilities of the controller. We assume that we have clarified all of the interfaces. We have the right input-output cards, memory, scan time, all of the hardware, and most importantly, and why it is at the end of the list, or documentation, and which I/O address goes to which device. How do we organize our tags? Regardless if we use ordinary ladder logic programming or automatically generated code derived from a multi-physics model-based simulator. Ultimately, we need some sort of intermediate program to transfer data from the schematics to the PLC code. A traditional method would be to use simple text files or Excel spreadsheets and cross-check each device one by one against the data in the PLC programming tool. This is a time-consuming task and prone to errors as it relies on the dexterity and concentration of the designer/operator working the programming tool. There are, of course, methods to automate some of these steps. Most CAD tools can export a simple text file or spreadsheet, and most PLC development environments can import that very same file. However, if changes to one or more sides of the design are made, the designer is required to maintain and organize these individual files. Again, a set of revision control tools are needed, which again involve another layer of maintenance. If there are more people involved, there are more chances for errors. Simple transcripts errors, which have nothing to do with the actual execution of the PLC code and will not be caught by the PLC compiler, will nevertheless be transferred to the controller, with less than desirable results. Administrative oversight, such as requiring simulation and multiple design checks, can solve some of these problems. But the amount of effort required to check whether or not a list has been moved from one machine to another begs the question, is there a simpler, safer way?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Too kind, too kind. Be sure to tip your waitress at the end. Hopefully you enjoy that as much as we enjoy doing them and putting these together for you guys in a more comprehensive way, probably, maybe not. But anyway, so the software demo at hand. What are we talking about? PLC. So let's dive right into it. We, as we proceeded with our episodes, we saw all the different facets, all the different steps, and we derived from our project settings that when we were doing our pre-planning phase and we were doing our schematic generation and whatnot, we ended up with a pre-calculation of the amount of IOs that we need. So since the topic of the day is PLCs, this is the what we're going to kind of tackle into and how we're going to blend in this information together. So, of course, knowing full well how we proceed into all our different facets of our engineering processes, we know we have certain schematics assigned to our pre-planning objects. And as we saw in previous episodes, we can insert these. And as we are inserting these different objects into our schematic environment, information is being produced. Now, obviously, the benefits of all this is that ease of functionality and also the fact that we can also benefit from a drag and drop and ease of use tools. Now, of course, as we're using and building up our schematics, we're putting PLC information inside the schematics. And that PLC information will be found inside our navigator, depending on the IO. And as we saw previously also, even from this particular environment, we can also create different PLC overview sheets that will give us a lot of detailed information. And what we're going to be end up doing is we'll basically start to use other tools to be able to merge that. So just as we saw in the animation previously, we want to try to avoid that separation between two disciplines. What I have here is an environment, which is basically the Studios 5000 Architect. We do have other applications that we can communicate with. So we'll look into those eventually in some other episodes. But the benefit here, of course, is to have import and export capabilities. Now, based on our design, we saw that from the pre-calculation of our pre-planning environment with our report that we done, we have a small, simple project that we need 10 outputs and 13 inputs. So basically, an A4 rack would do me justice here. So if I drop in an A4 rack and I go ahead and grab the controller, dump it in. Again, the benefit of when we're starting to work with easy and ease of use tools, the benefits start to unfold. Of course, the interaction and the ease of use functionality greatly help. Of course, there is you have to know how to use these tools eventually, But of course, this is like any other application that you need, and especially with the progression that the environments that we're working with are going and expanding, and all the changes, and especially with the current situations, these are things that we have to take into consideration. How do we make these things faster? So having that done, having this information integrated in my environment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the export functionality. And from here, I'll be able to export my my PLC file. So I can create a new one just so, in case we have those people that say it's pre-cut. So let me do an RAF demo July. That'll be my file. And of course, it's exported. And as you notice, what I exported is an AML file. We discussed the AML in our podcast, so be sure to tag along, follow us on the podcast channel, and you'll be able to benefit from all the cool information that's out there. So AML, being the weapon of choice, of course, has a lot of capabilities. We're going to grab that file and we're going to import it into our project. So here, choosing the import data, I'm going to grab that AML file. So I'm going to choose the one I just created, bring that guy in. And basically what the system will do is it brought 4 devices, 1 CPU, and I'm good to go. So these devices are here, but they're generic. They're not necessarily correlated with my design. Of course, these outputs these inputs that I have here are brought in based on the macro tools that I'm using. And of course, they have generic information themselves. So here we have pin 111 and so on and so forth. So there's no real correlation. I'm going to grab that information and blend those two together. So grabbing the file or the information that was brought in from the PLC tool, and I'm just going to blend that in. So to do so, I'm going to grab here a little filter to start with my inputs first. Grab all my inputs, and I'm going to choose here PLCs, and I'm going to say use connection point blockwise. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign it to my digital IO card. And I know I need 13 pins or 13 points. So I'm going to say 8 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be my 13. They line up. And now you'll notice that my connection points and all the data that was exported out or brought into my Eplan tool will now inherit the information that I had in my pre-planning environment. So as soon as I hit OK, now you'll see pin 1, 2, 3, and I have all the information and description all aligned. I can proceed now to do the outputs. So very simple steps. The benefit here, again, is the capabilities of having a tool that can give you an ease of use workflow, regardless of the fact that maybe back in the day you used to do things a certain way. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I had to use my fingers when I was in school counting and doing math. But yeah, basically having these tools that will, once you grasp your head around the concepts, will give you great benefit in the long run. So having that done and integrated all my information, if I go here to my rack-oriented view, I have here my my project, my station, my rack, and all the different tools and hardware. And here, basically, I have some information that correlates in with it. The idea, again, is the principle of being able to have these two tools interact with each other. So it's not a direct communication per se, if you will, but the idea really is the concept of being able to grab this information and being able to manipulate it in 2 instances by means of import and export, as opposed to use a third party or a script or an Excel spreadsheet with macros and things. All these tools are great. They all work. There's nothing wrong with any of them. It's just that there are certain benefits. Once you have your concept wrapped around, you can do these kind of things. So hopefully this kind of enlightens you into this topic. And let's go back here, and here we go. Right. So we'll move into the Q&A session here now.
Sergio, thank you so much. So the first question that we have is, PLCs can Eplan handle?
How many different PLCs? Okay, so I guess the question is how many PLC hardware types or software types, I guess. Maybe I'm phrasing myself wrong. So what you can do is inside the import or export application under the PLC configuration program types. These are all the different configurations available. Of course, as you can see, we have Beckhoff, B&R, ABB, Mitsubishi's, and so on and so forth. A lot of these are still in process of being reworked and revamped. We had some, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mitsubishi did an update and things were working great. Mitsubishi did an update and now it wasn't working. We have similar cases with Rockwell. They're also looking into their AML environment with the new formats. So there's still a little bit of work that's being done. Siemens also, with their TIA portal versions. So they all work. But they're still getting revamped. So if you're out there, if you're seeing certain things that are not maybe working out, feel free to contact your support. The support team will make sure to get a hold of the PLC experts in Germany and see what's up. But all in all, the tool seems to be working very seamlessly. We had no issues with the Studios 5000 tool just as yet. But yeah, these are pretty much all of the configuration capabilities that we have.
Excellent. Thank you. And next question. We saw how to move data from schematics to the PLC. Is there a way to move data from the PLC to the schematic?
Yes, of course. So there's the schematics to the PLCs, but there's also a PLC information that we can bring in, whether you're inserting a device, of course, whether it be a PLC device, and you can bring it into the schematics. Also, the benefits of being able to benefit from all the different functionalities, as you saw me do earlier. If I grab a overview sheet from the PLC, what I can do is from the schematic point of view, I can grab that PLC IO card, drag it into an overview sheet, and I will have the overview information of that sheet. Of course, I'll have here all the representation data that's coming from the schematics into the PLC environment and so on and so forth. So yes, from the PLC to the schematics, we can import, and from the schematics to the PLC, we can output.
Excellent. We have another question. Can you generate blockwise macros via PLC to generate schematics?
Blockwise macros. Okay. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, we have the bitwise, which is represented here. And of course, this is probably not a technique that a lot of people are familiar with. And the benefits of having this type of technique is the fact that we can just show on the schematics the IO points that we require. And as you just saw me do here in the PLC overview, I can have the whole card overview in a form of a report that reflects what's actually happening in the schematics. But of course, inside the schematic environment, it all depends on the macros that you're using that are associated to your parts. In the part data for all these objects here, if I look at the digital input card and I look at the properties in the part information, you can associate a schematic macro that you will be using in order to use the auto generation function. So here, this macro will be utilized to create. So this is an overview, but you do have multiple representations for this particular macro. So you could have a multi-line schematic, a single line, an overview, a whole bunch of them. So these will be the ones represented and used in the auto generation. So it's up to you to fine tune it. We do have courses that are being put together on these, and we also have macros. The data portal has some macros available. There has been a lot of feedback about the data portal parts. We've created a data portal standard. We've sent it out to all the manufacturers. They're starting to abide by those regulations. So hopefully, crossing our fingers, it's up to them to create and put these things together better, and we should be getting benefits from using the new macro information and be able to work with all these different features.
Excellent, excellent. Next question. If I want to reorganize all of my PLC tags in Eplan, how would I do that?
Yeah, so there are tools in place where under PLC, you can readdress. You can choose the address and assignment list also, which is very beneficial, which kind of gives us a similar representation of our Excel spreadsheet that we're accustomed to using. And of course, we do have capabilities here of readdressing, removing around. We do have capabilities of also exporting out and re-importing in using our edit externally features, which are also beneficial. So depending on the level of knowledge that you have using ePlan, there are multiple facets or multiple ways of doing these things. So this could be something, there's a whole bunch of ways. We do have, again, we're working really on e-learning tools. So hopefully, especially for the North American crowd who is really busy and is overworked. So we're trying to get these things out. There are also coaching services. So one key factor could be for the users out there who want more in-depth coaching services, just like if you would go to a gym, you paid the membership, you're working out, but you want to have that extra oomph, you get yourself a coach who's going to give you all the tricks and tips. Same concept. So let your sales rep know that might be something you're interested in.
Thank you, Sergio. So we have a couple more questions. What information do you have to put in to the parts in ePlan to be able to transfer information such as function text to Studio 5000?
Right. The function text is technically the information that you get from the IO point. Now, the function text property, or this basically would be the property, the description property, and the symbolic property. There are certain attributes. A lot of people have this misconception that it's just a magic wand. You purchase the license of ePlan and you can just, while you're sipping your coffee, ePlan is doing everything for you, which is not the case, and that's with any tool out there. There are certain fields and properties that need to be populated. We do have a lot of, we have some tech tips online. Rockwell created a white paper that's online that you can also get your hands on, which basically really is a deep dive between the integration between ePlan and the Rockwell tool, as well as other applications out there. I know there are certain documentation in the ePlan information portal. If you Google that, you'll have some tech tips there as well that'll explain to you what fields need to be populated. So in this particular case here, the function text will be converted over to the description. The symbolic address will also be brought into the PLC program in the proper fields. Just an example of need to know information. One of these is one that I actually personally had to tackle myself. The symbolic address cannot take any spaces. So in the transfer of data from ePlan to, and apparently it's with other tools that I found out, there's no spaces available. So when you use an underscore, it gives you that effect. So these are knowledge-based information that, you can ask us in support, you can ask us, and even with the coaching service, we can look at this more in depth.
Sorry to do this to you, Andrew, but we had like 2 more questions come in right as we started the outro. Great job, everybody. First one is, in your demo, you use Studio Architect. Is it also available in Pro Panel?
So there are packages available in Pro Panel. You would add the add-on of the PLC into your Pro Panel environment if it's something that you require. So yes, it's available.
That's our time for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed the demo. Be sure to stop by our ePlan Experience booth at the Rockwell Automation Fair at Home.
Engineering is going through a real revolution. Cloud computing, the Internet of Things, and data integration have a huge impact on industrial production systems. An efficient exchange of digital data between the different engineering phases is necessary to prevent disruption. If you want to work efficiently, you must think in an integrated way. That starts in the concept phase. Thanks to the digitization and modularization of engineering data, you can immediately start with conceptual design. This smart customization ensures substantial time savings, better estimable offers, and sharper delivery times. Smart engineering stands for a smart connection of electrical, mechanical, and software data. Thanks to one virtual prototype, everyone speaks the same language. It opens the door to smart production. The digital twin with 3D info and other smart data ensures smooth communication between man and machine. The better and more accessible information is built up in the concept, engineering and production phases, the less time you'll lose later on in case of downtime. You can also store everything in the cloud, so everyone has direct access to the right digital data at any given time. It's crystal clear. Working in an integrated way creates added value, shortens the lead time of your projects, and reduces downtime in case of a breakdown. This way you create a great added value for your product. Do you want to know how you can do this? The different solutions within the Eplan platform support you towards an integrated engineering and production process. Your digital transformation with Eplan.
Digital data has become a primary focus for product development and production, with manual and automated processes of panel building. Having standardized and digitally provided data is becoming a necessity. User errors are expensive, and implementing the correct set of wiring can be tedious and oftentimes daunting. With the help of virtual prototyping, access to creating a digital footprint of wiring is now possible. From the connections to the best routing path, Eplan Smart Wiring creates a virtual layout that provides shop floors with all the necessary information in a 3D digital format. Data can be passed along to different departments seamlessly. Whether it's a manual or fixed installation, wiring information is available to the design department via email. What else can smart wiring do? With the help of a smart device, you can access Eplan Smart Wiring and receive detailed step-by-step instructions for easy implementation. Wiring can be completed without schematics or layouts, and connections can be recorded using the traffic light principle. In addition to creating a transparent guideline, smart wiring also helps avoid mistakes in real time. By running an automatic project comparison, last-minute changes are now possible. Using Eplan Pro Panel, Smart Wiring and eView will give you a 45% time savings in wire preparation and project completion. To learn more about how to save on cost and time through automation, visit us at info.eplanusa.com/wiring 4.0.
Hello, my name's Jeff Kilburn. I'm the Managing Director for Eplan USA, here to give you a quick glance of Eplan software and service. Eplan, along with their sister company Rittal, are part of the Friedhelm Loh Group, $2.6 billion company with over 12,000 employees worldwide. Eplan itself has 1,100 employees across the world, with 58,000 customers using 190,000 Eplan software licenses every day to execute their electrical engineering solutions. Eplan offers a platform of solutions for multiple disciplines that all sit on top of a common data model that then resides in what we call the Eplan project. And this is where the power of and value of the solution is derived. At Eplan, we talk about an ecosystem of industrial automation. This consists of 4 different and distinct business types. There's, of course, the end use or the operator that's putting the automation solution into use. There are the OEMs and system integrators who build the machines and pull it all together for that end use application. Someone, of course, has to build the electrical panels. So that's a business type. Sometimes the OEMs and integrators do it themselves, but also it's sometimes a separate entity, but it's certainly part of the solution. And last but not least, it really all starts there, the end use operator usually selects a line of components to base their solution on. And so when people execute an automation solution today, there's at least in the United States, there's a lot of handoffs that happen. And I think this is the case globally, but more than ever here in the United States, we see a lot of disjointed handoffs in the way of drawings and spreadsheets and things like this. And that's an opportunity for errors and inefficiencies. And this is the value that we provide to all of the pieces of the what we call the ecosystem of industrial automation. So, usually it starts with an operator that puts together a specification that includes some of the component manufacturer's parts. They do some planning around what they need and what kind of solutions they're going to look for, and they usually have partners in form of OEMs and system integrators or solution providers that then are asked to give them quotations. And this is where the first step of the Eplan project really starts to deliver value. The operator can pass that specification not on paper or in an electronic form like a PDF, but in a data form in terms of an Eplan project, and communicate that to their partners in the market, who then can do some basic level work within our platform, and then in terms of basic engineering required to develop a quotation for a machine or an integration solution. And that's one handoff that is seamless and has a continuity of data, or a data thread, if you will. Of course, once the orders are placed with the OEMs and integrators, they have to do all the detailed engineering work, and that's the efficiencies gained by having all of that information pass through start to help, but also all of the data that came from the component manufacturers. So Eplan has all of these manufacturers in a cloud-based location called the Eplan Data Portal, and all that data can now flow into the detailed engineering to help with things like thermal calculations to see if you need a fan or an AC unit on the cabinet that needs to be built, to lay out the wires, and maybe even go so far as to automate the fabrication of the panel with the cutouts in the door for the HMI and the holes drilled in the back panel for the components to mount. The wires themselves can be with the data that's coming and available in the Eplan platform and coming from the components from the component manufacturer. You can automating the fabrication of the wire. We have our sister company Rittal's machines that cut, strip, crimp, and mark the wire, and the efficiencies are enormous for the people actually building the panel. And that can be an OEM, an integrator, or a separate company, but someone, of course, then has to source all those components, build the panel, and again, instead of a handoff of a different spreadsheet or evaluation of a set of drawings, it can be all put into the Eplan project and shared again with the different players in the ecosystem. And then, of course, once all the electrical equipment's built, it has to be installed and commissioned, and then, of course, put into operation. And there's always a desire to and an effort made to do as-built documentation. But now in the commissioning and runtime and operation phase, Eplan has cloud-based tools that allow you to maintain that project and have as-maintained documentation for your automation solution, which delivers another round of value to the end use at the operator level during the runtime of their facility or their assembly line or whatever happens to be. And we have customers all over the globe doing this in all different industries, from marine to automotive to oil and gas. And every day we interface with those customers. We, of course, provide our software platform that enables it. But more so than anything, we can share the experiences we have across the world on best practices and help every different discipline or company that's involved in this ecosystem of industrial automation achieve their own values, but even maybe more importantly for some, to show that value to their customers and to differentiate themselves. So this is what we do every day. We do have a long-term strategy to create more and more a digital, even a cloud-based, digitally connected system to increase the efficiencies. That, of course, involves our software and the data behind it, but all putting it into a digital platform. And our goal is to be ready for our customers when they're ready to move to the cloud. And that will, of course, will happen over time. We're hard at work at it, and we hope to lead our customers and ourselves to operational excellence as we move toward that new solution that we believe the cloud is the future. And so that's Eplan software and service at a glance. I hope that helped explain a few things, but if you would like to interface with us, we're always available, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Hola, mi nombre es René Knopfel, soy el Technical Business Manager de Eplan Estados Unidos, y a continuación les presentaré una introducción a Eplan Software and Service. Eplan pertenece junto a su compañía hermana Rital, es parte del Freedom Law Group, un grupo con más de 2.6 billones de euros en ingresos anuales a nivel mundial. Por su parte, Eplan cuenta con más de 1.100 empleados presentes en 50 países y con una red de clientes que sobrepasan los 58.000, con más de 190.000 licencias en uso para el desarrollo de soluciones de ingeniería eléctrica y de automatización. Eplan ofrece una gama de soluciones tecnológicas desarrolladas todas bajo una base de datos en común, la plataforma de Eplan. Y estos datos se almacenan todos bajo un mismo proyecto, el proyecto de Eplan. Y es aquí donde radica la ventaja y el valor de nuestras soluciones. Permítame explicarle. Nos enfocamos en lo que llamamos el ecosistema de automatización industrial. Nuestros clientes varían desde los usuarios finales o end users, los fabricantes de equipos originales o OEMs, los integradores de sistemas, los fabricantes de armarios y los fabricantes de componentes. Una realidad que la manera como cada uno de estos actores almacenan y distribuyen la información es a través de hojas de cálculo, a través de bocetos, a través de planos, lo que aumenta la probabilidad de errores y de ineficiencias en el proceso. Esto ocurre no solamente dentro de los distintos tipos de empresas ya nombrados, sino también cuando estas empresas tienen que colaborar entre sí. Y aquí Eplan cumple un valor fundamental. Normalmente el proceso comienza cuando el usuario final, el end user, está en su etapa de planificación y en búsqueda de una solución en el mercado. Él define un conjunto de especificaciones, él define los componentes que se van a utilizar, incluso los fabricantes que se van a utilizar. Después tiene una red de partners en el mercado donde puede buscar distintos tipos de ofertas. Los partners reciben una petición de oferta. En este proceso, este primer paso, es donde el proyecto de Eplan empieza a añadir valor. El usuario, les explico, el usuario final puede pasar el conjunto de especificaciones. Normalmente se pasa en papel o se pasa en formato PDF, pero en este caso puede pasar ese conjunto de especificaciones, ese conjunto de componentes, toda esa información recopilada al principio, la puede pasar en el proyecto de Eplan, en una base de datos. El integrador de sistema o el fabricante de equipos originales puede tomar esta base de datos, puede proceder a hacer los distintos niveles de ingeniería básica necesarios para hacer una oferta, y de esta forma minimizar, digamos, la pérdida de información por transferencia. Y a su vez se garantiza una continuidad de datos y a su vez alimentando el proyecto de Eplan con más y más información. Siguiente paso es, se gana el proyecto, ¿ya? Entonces los fabricantes de los OEMs, los fabricantes de equipos originales, ¿ya?, pasan a lo que llamamos la ingeniería de detalle. Y es aquí donde se obtiene aún, o se ve aún más el aumento de la eficiencia, dado que todos los datos ya almacenados por el usuario final y sobre todo los datos de los componentes se le presentan al ingeniero en una profundidad de datos que le va a ayudar con todas las especificaciones de su diseño. En el caso de Eplan, Eplan mantiene un catálogo digital en la nube, donde distintos tipos de fabricantes almacenan y mantienen los datos, no solo de la parte comercial, sino también datos necesarios para la ingeniería básica, para la ingeniería de detalles y para la fabricación o la instalación de los distintos tipos de componentes. Ejemplos, ¿cómo puede ayudar estos datos a un ingeniero? Si vamos a los ejemplos de las calculaciones térmicas, ¿ya? Para ver qué unidad de enfriamiento requiero en un armario. Estos datos los provee los componentes, estos datos ya están almacenados en el proyecto y el ingeniero, al momento de crear el prototipo en 3D del armario, ya puede verificar si está cumpliendo con las reglas de distancias especificadas por el proveedor. Asimismo, puede determinar si las conexiones, el tipo de conexiones o los cables elegidos son soportados por el componente, son los recomendados por el fabricante, e incluso puede llegar a mandar esta información, digamos, una vez que ya se tenga el armario listo en su formato digital, puede mandar esta información a una máquina de CNC para, por ejemplo, hacer las escotaduras para la interfaz HMI, la interfaz hombre-máquina. Se le presenta la información de la ubicación de los orificios de perforación y puede incluso obtener la longitud exacta de los cables, la terminación de los cables. Existen máquinas como la que oferta nuestra compañía hermana Rital, que le permite cortar, aislar, engarzar y marcar los cables. Y toda esta información ya está contenida en el proyecto de Eplan. En caso, por ejemplo, no todos los OEMs hacen el diseño o la fabricación de los armarios, ¿no? En caso de que, por ejemplo, se subcontrate la fabricación del armario, en vez de pasar la información a través de fotos, a través de bocetos, se pasa simplemente el prototipo virtual del armario con toda esta información, con la información relevante para la parte de fabricación, y de esta forma agilizar las operaciones del subcontratista. Y todo, seguimos hablando del mismo proyecto de Eplan del que empezamos con este ejemplo. Naturalmente, una vez que ya el operador haya recibido la solución y la haya instalado, la hayan puesto en marcha, obtiene el operador una documentación que llamaríamos as design y empieza el ciclo de vida de, digamos, la línea de ensamblaje. Durante este ciclo de vida hay mantenimientos que se realizan, hay reemplazos de componentes, reemplazos de sistemas que se realizan, y Eplan ofrece una cantidad de aplicaciones que le permiten al ingeniero de mantenimiento siempre mantener los datos y la documentación que está disponible en el proyecto de Eplan up to date. De esta forma no solo se tiene los datos o los planos as built, pero también se tienen los datos as maintained. Siempre se tienen los datos actuales. Tenemos clientes alrededor del mundo trabajando de esta forma, desde el sector automotriz, desde oil and gas, en el sector de energía, y todos los días ofrecemos no solo la tecnología, sino también los best practices que hemos acumulado en nuestros 36 años de experiencia. En Eplan también tenemos una estrategia a largo plazo de continuar innovando, continuar haciendo que el ecosistema sea cada vez más eficientes y permitirle a sus actores diferenciarse por medio de las ventajas que se encuentran hoy en día disponibles con la digitalización en ingeniería. Espero le haya resultado informativo este video. Estamos siempre disponibles en las redes sociales, en todos los distintos canales, y de esta forma me despido. Muchas gracias.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Payne, and I'm the Business Sales Manager for Master Data. We hope you're enjoying your time at the Rockwell Automation Fair at Home today. I'm going to show you a presentation about all the new insights regarding the new and improved data portal, which was originally recorded at the Eplan Virtual Fair in September. Please feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and we'll get to those right away. Thanks again for joining us, and let's go ahead and get started.
So, yeah, good afternoon or even good morning, everybody. Good morning to those who are joining from the United States. I've seen our colleague Jennifer Payne also joining. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to our virtual manufacturer event as a part of the Eplan Virtual Fair. We are very happy to guide you through, I would say, 1.5 or almost 2 hours of, I would say, exciting topics in terms of what kind of value would it bring you to be a part of the Eplan data portal, or what kind of new tools would we have available to hopefully automate or speed up the data generation process? Are there any news coming from standardization? Give you an answer, yes, we have something really exciting. It's the Eplan data standard. Thomas Pinks will say something about that later on. And in total, we are around about 4 or 5 colleagues as your host here today. Please use this chance also to chat with us. You have a chat opportunity in your tool, in your virtual conferencing tool. So we are here to give you some answers directly. But don't worry, we also have our contact data mentioned in these slides. So let me just briefly start with the first presentation. This should be the opening presentation about the Eplan data portal. Maybe you noticed that some changes in the software industry took place in the last years. I remember when I first installed my Microsoft Word on my computer a while ago. It was a setup exe file you needed to open, and then you were able to work proprietary on your system, not being able to share some data with anybody else. Nowadays, a lot of tools are hosted in the cloud. We call it software as a service. And right now, you are already able to use at least the Microsoft Office products right in your Windows Internet Explorer tool or even the Google Chrome browser. And this means you do not necessarily have to install any kind of application on your local machine anymore. This cloud approach brings a lot of advantages. One advantage is you do not have to work with fat clients anymore. Thin clients are fully enough. It brings a lot of new possibilities in terms of data sharing, collaboration, and so on. And Eplan, as an industry vendor of software and leader, at least in the electrical CAD software field here in Europe, and especially in Germany, we decided to go the same way, meaning we will offer more and more cloud-based services. And one of them is the Eplan data portal. So this is not regarded to be the Eplan cloud. It is a part of the Eplan cloud. So as a company, we have some claims out in the market. As mentioned before, we have a quite stable and successful history here in Europe and the German-speaking countries. And Eplan's name is briefly sticked to the industry of electrical CAD, meaning we would like to provide high-quality tools that are able to manage whole projects, meaning all processes right from the beginning, from the ideation phase until the delivery or even maintenance and repair phase. We are sending out the claim to be able to organize those projects and in the end standardize everything already during electrical development, meaning standardization is a key topic. Very important, at least when you have a view on the Eplan data portal, is the topic of data quality. We are really investing huge efforts in bringing you the best available data quality from our manufacturers on the data portal. And this is necessary to be able to run a full-fledged cloud service later on, but we will see it on the upcoming slides. What is very important to mention is that we are busy and pretty active in the field of electrical engineering. This should be or will be the case in the future, meaning we will not look very much left and right into topics such as Internet of Things or other things that are not related to our core competency, meaning it is and will be electrical engineering. On this slide, I show you something that I would like to call the solution blueprint. So this is how our cloud offering could or should look in the future. And the future means some years from now. On the lower left side, you see so-called third-party providers. Nowadays, when you open your mobile phone and you would like to install a new app, you have to go into the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to download software. And this is something you could also imagine in relation to the Eplan ePulse Cloud, meaning you would be able to download third-party applications that do not necessarily have to come from Eplan or the manufacturers on board of the Eplan data portal. It could be just separate software companies who are specialized on topics such as predictive maintenance or kind of business analytics and so on. So this would be a part of our digital marketplace. On the lower right side, you see our aims to integrate bigger customers, including their environments in terms of cloud. On the upper left side, you might see maybe yourself already, because this is the topic closely related to the Eplan data portal. We already have the possibility to integrate manufacturers' software into the EDP. A good example is the configurator from Rittal, for example, but also from Schneider Electric. These configurators are pretty much integrated into the EDP, meaning they are more or less, they're not hosted there, but they have a deep link into the EDP. And you can use their logic. And in the end, the corresponding parts that are necessary for your project to get finalized will be displayed there, and you are able to download them. Last but not least, we will not forget the mechanical CAD world. You see it on the right side. We already have some interfaces to, such as Siemens Teamcenter, for example, but we will provide further integrations directly from the cloud into the PDM field of business. And of course, also to the world of enterprise resource planning, ERP, such as not only SAP, also to smaller systems. So that's it in total, and that's our journey. And how we are realizing this journey, as it is really a big effort. You can see it, we basically generated 3 working packages. One is the on-premise world, where we are still in, or at least a little bit in, meaning install your software, use the software, and then create successful project. Horizon 2 is already some kind of transition into a cloud kind of business model, software as a service cloud. And we already have offerings that are hosted in the cloud. So you are warmly welcome to register for free in epulse.com. Just open your browser, type in epulse.com, and you can register without having the necessity to be an Eplan customer right now. You can also register there for free. And you will get a first overview of what kind of tools we already have available. Tools are things such as eView Commerce, eBuild, what is a quite fascinating story. It lets you automate parts of the generation of your schematics. BIM, eWire, or eManage. eManage is a small PDM electrical approach, such as like a small data management system that's also already hosted as a service in our cloud. And last but not least, of course, the Eplan data portal mentioned here on first step. But remember, the Eplan data portal is not synonymous for the Eplan cloud offering. It is just a part of that. Finally, with Horizon 3, we would like to establish a digital ecosystem, as mentioned before, with apps hosted there, third-party software, and so on. And because at least myself, I cannot read what's written there on this slide, you see it a little bit bigger here. So it all begins with capable software. You need to have capable software out there on the market that provides good functions that are really useful in daily business. If that you can win through features and functions, that's an entry point into the whole story. And the second important thing is to have the right data on the data portal, meaning up-to-date data, but also in the highest possible quality. And it's really a challenge. Standardizing is not easy. That's what we can really tell you. It's a lot of selling, of course, the overall plan or vision or idea. And it requires a lot of discipline because it could mean that some manufacturers have to rethink some of their processes or even maybe do some manual work to gather some data internally to be able to generate this high quality data together with us. But don't worry, it's also a lot of efforts on our side. So finally, we believe we are a very good team together with our manufacturers. So only if you have the right software, including the right functions, plus a huge amount of high quality data, you will be able to set up a digital platform and run this digital platform. If nothing is standardized and more or less everybody is publishing data as he or she wishes, it would be very difficult to program applications or other services to give our end users more possibilities to work with electrical CAD software. And this is why number one, the software, plus number two, the quality data are the basic requirements to be able to generate a digital platform. So already the last slide is the whole process. You can see in very easy words or drawings how it works. On the lower left side, you see the operator. The operator would be, for example, a car manufacturer, just anyone, German one, foreign one, it doesn't matter. Let's assume the car manufacturer has huge business and he says, okay, we need a new production line. So he starts with the specification and the planning. And because they are not building up these plans themselves anymore, because that's not their core competency, they're looking for so-called OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, or we also call them system integrators. So these are bigger companies who are out there in the market and who are specialized in building up, in this example, production lines. And they are continuing with the point 2 and 3A, where I'm just seeing that the text is missing, but it doesn't matter. 2 is basic engineering and 3A is detailed engineering. So this is what is done with the OEMs and the system integrators. And themselves, they are not building up the cabinets that are necessary to run the production line. So they move over the whole story to a panel builder, and the panel builder are the guys who are engineering the digital twin. And the brilliant tool for the digital twin is Eplan Pro Panel, for example. They are engineering the schematics that you can do with Eplan P8. And they are also the ones who will finally install the cabinet, meaning they are really doing the physical work and wiring and mounting everything together. So to be successful as a panel builder, you need highly qualified and high quality data. Of course, they could sit down and generate the data themselves. What's a huge amount of time. And this is what actually nobody really likes to do anymore nowadays, because the people do not have the time. And the Eplan data portal comes in place here. And those guys, electrical engineers at the panel builder, they are the ones who make the component decision on the Eplan data portal, and who finally also download the components and engineer them or implement them into their schematics. So if you are even more correct, you could say that it is the panel builder or the engineer working at the panel builder who is making the purchasing decision, because they are picking the parts from whatever manufacturer from the Eplan data portal, and later on generating a bill of materials. And they are sending this bill of material to their sourcing department, who is just purchasing those products through a distributor or maybe directly from the manufacturer. And this is where you, as maybe a new manufacturer or an existing one, comes into place. So the view on the data portal for many manufacturers is that it is more or less a sales help. Some call it even a sales tool. And the view from the electrical engineers on the data portal is it's a great story to save a huge amount of time and speed up the engineering process and probably lower the costs, because they do not have to sit there hours for hours and generate parts by themselves. So in the end, let's look at the last point. It should be 7 somewhere on the slide. It's a little bit like a Christmas calendar where you have chocolate behind each red box. Here, operation 7. That's the last point in our user story. This would be the topic of maintenance and repair. And within all these red boxes, Eplan is offering at least a piece of software or a service. And this means, and that's the fascinating thing here on this slide, Eplan is present with software and our services in the whole value chain of electrical engineering. And in the future, it should be that everything would be in a kind of cloud offering, meaning cloud-based. And this could mean significant, how to say, time savings in projects as well. And that's one of our goals that we fulfill or follow in the next years. So that's it already. This was my short presentation. I would briefly like to introduce you to my colleagues who are also on board here. We have Jennifer Payne from the United States. I'm not sure if Jennifer's microphone is working and if she's a moderator, but she's the one who is... hi, Jennifer. Would you like to say about yourself, how you could help some American manufacturers, if you like?
Sure, thank you. I am the business sales manager for Master Data, and I cover the Americas, so the US, United States, Canada, Brazil, and Mexico. And I'm here to help bring new manufacturers onto the data portal as well as to develop them and any questions that they may have regarding the data portal. So if I'm here to help in any way that a manufacturer has any questions regarding our services and within our team. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Jennifer. We have 2 more colleagues based in Shanghai, Ling Zhu and Qingbo Liu. Both of them participated in our morning round that started at 8 a.m. already, and I believe they are not working anymore. It should be bedtime for them. And we have a Japanese colleague, Koji Yamashita, who likes to help you out in Japan. And of course, our European colleagues, I think they're well known, at least to the manufacturers from Europe who are on board here in the call, Juan Castillo and Robin Heitzke. And that's basically our team. And yeah, thanks a lot for participating today. And let me hand over to the next presenter.
It's me.
Yes, Josephine. Okay, now you are a moderator, Josephine.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
The screen is here. Voice is also working well, so the stage is yours now.
Great. Thanks a lot. So yeah. Hello, everyone. Also from my side, my name is Josephine Heck, and I will give you today some insights on the new Eplan data portal and show you also the new user interface and some new functionalities inside the Eplan data portal. So I'll present the user side of this tool today. I'd like to start with something general on the Eplan data portal. You might know that the Eplan data portal is an exchange portal for parts data between the manufacturer of parts and the engineers and designers who work in Eplan with these data. They use the offered parts data to create schematics, parts lists, 3D panel layouts, and also production data. The customers have added value by using this high quality parts data. They save time because he doesn't need to create and search for the data by himself. And also the probability of mistakes will be reduced if he uses the data from the data portal, because he doesn't need to search everything and create everything by himself. For the manufacturer of the parts, the EDP could also be seen as a sales toolkit as a sales tool and as a tool to create customer loyalty. The customer can make his decision which part he uses first to create the schematic and later for the panel on the basis of the offered data in the data portal. This means that this added value exists on both sides of the exchange of data. Next, I'd like to share some numbers of the Eplan data portal. You'll find there more than 620,000 function templates for around 1 million devices in the data portal, which is a very large number. Additional to this 1 million devices, you can configure user-specific variants of different parts from different manufacturers. So you have additional possibilities to find the right data for the right part. The data portal is available in 19 different languages, so it really can be used by engineers all over the world. The user community is continuously growing. At the moment, we have around 3,600 new registrations per month. So in future, more and more engineers can use the parts data while creating their schematics. The users who are active in the data portal, they download more than 1 million parts per month, which also shows that the portal is highly used by engineers who work with Eplan. In the data portal, more than 300 manufacturers offer their parts data at the moment, which is also, and this number is also growing continuously. And at the moment, we have 6 selectors or configurators from leading manufacturers, with which the users can easily select or configure parts or variants, part variants which fit to their needs. The number of Eplan data standard parts is also continuously growing, so more and more parts data are available in a standardized format, which means also an added value for the users. At the moment, already more than 35,000 parts data follow this regulations of the Eplan data standard. Here you can see a diagram in which you can see how the number of monthly active users of the EDP developed in the last 4 years, so since August 2017. And you can see that the interest is growing. More and more users use the data portal actively. And to give an example, from March 2019 to March 2020, we had an increase of about 17% of the active users. And at the moment, it's more than 30,000 of users use the data portal per month. The data portal is accessible and available either via web browser or within the Eplan platform. So the users can, for example, also use their tablet and easily search for parts and get detailed information in a comfortable way. Here in the browser, they can, here on the left side, this is the browser view. Here they can download, for example, commercial data and DXF data. Most of our users use the platform to use the data portal. The view is here on the right-hand side. And here they can use the full functionality and can directly import their parts to the local parts management and use it directly to create the schematics in Eplan Electric P8, for example. To sum up what's new in the new Eplan data portal, I'd like to point out again the new modern user interface, which is very intuitive and easy understandable, and which leads to a easy parts selection. The users don't need long explanations or trainings. They can start right away and save time by using the parts data from the data portal. A modern search algorithm leads to fast results of the search, and you can say that there are further improvements. It's an ongoing process to make the best algorithm with the best results. The Eplan data standard, which will be presented later today, in this meeting is integrated in the new data portal, and this meets another added value for the users. We will switch now to a short live demonstration where I will show you how to access the new data portal, some different ways of part selection, and how to easily import parts and use these parts within the schematics. So now I hope you can see my Eplan platform. First of all, it's very important, as you can see here in the top left corner, I am using Eplan Electric P8 in the version 2.9 Service Pack 1 Update 2. And it is important that you use the version, at least the version 2.9 Service Pack 1. Only from Service Pack 1 on, you can use the full functionality of the new Eplan data portal. You find the new data portal under Utilities and then Eplan ePulse. Then you can create a new account by clicking on Sign Up Now. I already have an account, so I just type in my access data. And click on Sign In. Then I choose the ePulse community organization in which every new user is automatically involved. And then I'm on the product and services page of ePulse here. Here I choose the app data portal. Yeah, it takes some time for loading, but doesn't take too long. So this is the homepage of the data portal. In the bottom, you can see here also very famous parts which are very much downloaded, or you can directly start your search. First of all, I'd like to show you the parts selection via catalog selection, and I start by clicking here on the discipline I want to use, which is, for example, electrical engineering. Oh, wait, there are still filters from before. So I choose catalog, Eplan catalog, and electrical engineering. Now I'm searching, for example, for a rotary actuator. So I choose, for example, electrically operated mechanical devices and just click on Apply. So here in the part, we are in the part lists. Here in the top, you can see your filters which are active. Yeah. And now I choose the part. Here you can see also which data types are available for these parts, part number, manufacturer, and some a small designation. Also, you can see here that this part follows the Eplan data standard. You see it in this Eplan data standard flag. So, okay, I just choose this part and add it to my download list. Here you see the message of success. It's added to the download list. I clear the filters and show you one more catalog selection. Again, Eplan catalog, electrical engineering. And now I'm looking for a contactor, for example. So I scroll down and choose relays and contactors. And contactors, apply. Now I choose the sorting. The default sorting at the moment is the part number, but I want the most downloaded parts, which is this Siemens contactor. Here you can see also the number of downloads, the type number, and also which parts data, which data types are available for this part. I switch to the detail view now. Here you can see some pictures of it, some accessories which are connected to this part, and I can also switch to a 3D viewpoint. here I can turn it around the part and just check whether this part fits to my needs. So, okay, let's assume it fits to my needs. I add it to my download list, to the parts list. Now I'd like to search for a part by typing in what I'm searching for. Let's assume I know what I'm searching for, and I'm looking for a ground modular terminal block. So I type in PT 2.5 PE, press enter, and have here this part exactly what the type number is exactly what I was looking for. And okay, I say yes, this is the one I was looking for. I add it to my download list. One more example for suggestions. Let's assume I know which part I am looking for, but I don't know the complete parts number. I know it maybe only partly or the manufacturer. So I type in len.x and I have here suggestions for all the parts which fit to this part number. Okay, maybe I remember that this was the one I was looking for. And here you can also see again, Eplan data standard is available for this part and which data types are available. I add it to my download list. So one more part to select. I select a selector, for example, Schneider Electric selector. These are selection aids from leading component manufacturers. At the moment, as I mentioned before, we have 6 of them. Yeah, now I'm looking for a electrical protection from Schneider Electric. Okay, I scroll down. I choose this one, and here I'm asked to give some technical parameters. Let's assume that I choose just this. Down here, I can make more technical, I can type in more technical parameters, for example, this and this. It's not necessary, but yeah, okay. So now I have one part and one accessory. By clicking here, I added both to my download list. So now you see here all the parts we have chosen. And now I show you how to import them. First, I'd like to import this part. Here you can see the macro. And now I open the drop-down menu by clicking here on the blue arrow and I say insert part. Okay, I'm asked again whether I want to import it and which import type I want to use. I choose update existing parts data and add new data. Okay. Here down you see the download. And the message import was successful. And now when I go to the empty page of the project, I have the macro. It hangs on the mouse pointer, and I just can place it. And as usual, I'm asked for the insertion mode. I say OK, and that's it. One more example. For example, I can download the complete download list, and with one only click on import, it would take too long now because of the loading. But I will import just one part. For example, I mark this checkbox and import it as usual from the download list. Again, I'm asked whether it's okay. I have to click here again on import, and then this part is imported and downloaded to my local parts management. Yeah. I see the send clock. So loading, yes, import was successful. And now I can, I will just enlarge this page. I can, as usual, insert device by tapping the right mouse key. Insert device. I remember that this part I was just downloading was len.x. And here it is in my local parts management. I click on OK and can import and can place it on the empty page in my project. So, okay. That was the short live demonstration, and I thank you very much for listening. And you can place all of your questions in the Q&A section in the WebEx. And now I'd like to hand over the word to Thomas Bings, who will give you insights on the Eplan data standard. So Thomas, you are a moderator now.
Yes, it works. Thank you.
Okay.
So share my screen with the presentation about the Eplan data standard. So yeah, there it is. So thank you, Josephine, and hello to everybody also from my side, and welcome to the virtual fair about the topic Eplan data portal. My name is Thomas Bings. I am a business owner for in Eplan for the topic Eplan data portal, and I'd like to present to go deeper in the data in the data portal, and I'd like to present the Eplan data standard, what's the idea behind, and what do we offer, which value do we create with the Eplan data standard to customers. First of all, come on. So as we have already heard a lot of things about the data portal and the new user data portal, so let me recap the basic idea of the data portal as it is. So the data portal is a platform between the component manufacturers and users, engineers of Eplan engineers. So the manufacturers can provide in the data portal their component related data. This is basically basic data like part numbers and product description. It can be 3D files of the components, documents like the data sheet of the components, and especially the functional representation in the schematics. This is the so-called Eplan macro. So they upload all the data in the data portal, and the users can use these data in their projects, in their engineering projects. So they build up or they plan the machines in the engineering phase. And they build up typically the schematics in Eplan. This is what all our customers are doing traditionally. This is what an Eplan customer starts with when using Eplan solutions. It's a product electric P8 to create schematics. And the engineers also create part lists. So they decide which component to use in the project. And these are the most common, most popular workflows they are doing with the data. But more and more, the users are also creating digital twins. So it's 3D panel layout, and they are also using the data from the data portal for production processes. In the past, we always had the strategy with the data portal to grow it, to collect more and more manufacturers to win them for the data portal, and to win more and more parts for the data portal. And we concentrated mainly on the topic macros for the purpose of creating schematics and part lists. But as I said, the data portal is now 10 years old, more than 10 years old. And the workflows of our customers also change within the 10 years. So nowadays, more and more customers, they are choosing Eplan because Eplan software offers a lot of possibilities for very efficient workflows, very efficient engineering. And these are, for example, solutions for 3D engineering. It's the solution Eplan Pro Panel, where our customers build up the panel layout in 3D already. And they, with doing this, they have a lower fault rate in production because they see already possible errors, possible mistakes within a cabinet during the engineering phase. And the customers have less changes during the manufacturing of the cabinet, so it is a very efficient, or it leads to an efficient production process of the cabinet. And other solutions Eplan offers is, for example, a tool-based wiring, it's so-called Eplan Smart Wiring, which helps the customers, the panel builders, to have a very efficient production with low qualified employees. So you do not need, as a producer, you do not need to read the whole schematic, 200 pages of Eplan project, get all the information you need to wire the cabinet in a tool. It's so-called smart wiring. And other solutions we are offering together with Rital is the semi-automated production, is machines, cutting machines, drilling machines that that can work on the metal cutting, mounting plates and cabinets, and these are all processes that are very efficient, but these are all processes also that need more and more component-related data, because to go these ways, for the user to go these ways, they do not only need the logical representation of parts, they also need 3D representation, so a 3D file. They need connection point patterns. They need drilling patterns for these components. So this topic of high quality component data is more and more important for our users when choosing the components. And so that's the feedback from the users, that they like the Eplan data portal. As Josephine has shown, we have a lot of users in the data portal, and the number is constantly growing. But still, the users say that they have a high effort in data maintenance, because they download the parts from data portal, but then they adapt the data according to their needs in order to set up automated processes and highly sophisticated processes based on the data. They need the data in a standardized, in a uniform way, and they did not find it in the data portal yet. So what we decided in last year, and what we hardly are working on also in this year, is the topic, the Eplan data standard. So it's the first time for Eplan that we define the style and the content of a data set in the Eplan data portal. The customer has up to now, if he does not find standardized data and he needs to create it by his own, then he needed a lot of time to create this data. For example, for this basic data, it's not so much effort to do it. For basic data and documents to collect these data, the customer needs 5 minutes approximately. But when it comes to Eplan specific data like engineering data, this is the function template in Eplan and the logical representation, the macro in Eplan. This takes up to 1 hour of work for the engineer to create the data by himself for each component, 1 hour per component. And also these manufacturing related data like connection point pattern, drilling pattern, and 3D macro. This is depending on the complexity of the product. It's also up to 1 hour of work for the engineer to do. And so there are a lot of engineers at the moment that have this work to do because they do not find the data yet in the data portal. They cannot use the data one by one from the data portal. And there is at the moment, or in the past, a lack of uniformity in the data. And so this is what we are aiming on with the topic Eplan data standard. So we sat together with a lot of customers, especially big customers, and had a look on their processes. So we have seen, okay, there are different process steps that are component data related. For example, for the process step part selection, the customers need, of course, the manufacturer of the component, the part number, but also some technical data, the sales status, and so on. And there are next component steps, then typically the creation of schematics and part lists, where the customer needs the electrical representation, function template, and product photos, for example. They are doing calculation based on component-related data, so they need the weight for every component that they are choosing. Then they are doing the panel design and the production, where they need the 3D files, connection points, and so on. Then they are doing the complete documentation, so they want to hand over the whole engineering project to their customer, and they want to document every component with the data sheets, for example, and also for some logistical processes, they need component-related data. So this is all, all data that the customers needed, and we are ordering, or last year we ordered it, and we defined out of these data that is needed a set of mandatory data that we want to collect from the component manufacturers and to upload it in the Eplan data portal. And this is summarized in the topic Eplan data standard. So the data set according to the Eplan data standard consists of the whole bunch of data, some basic data, the engineering data, function template and logic macro, and also the 3D related data, 3D files, connection point pattern, drilling pattern. And if component provides this data set to the Eplan data portal and then to the customers, then the customer can use this component really efficiently in his workflows with the Eplan software. So some examples how it looks like with specific components. So for example, I took out here 3 feed-through terminals of 3 different component manufacturers. And in the past, with non-standardized data, every component manufacturer for his own decided how to maintain the data and how to upload the data in the Eplan data portal. And this leads to differences in these parts between all the manufacturers. For example, the logical representation is different for the parts, or some data is missing for a part, or there are some languages missing for another part. So in the end, there are definitely differences between all the parts data. And the future, so when we follow the standard, this will not happen anymore. Then here in the parts management, so the description of these parts in the Eplan software is unified, and it can be used very easily and for automated processes later on. So another example for these non-standardized data, so if you think about to create a bill of materials, so think about you are a panel builder or a machine builder, and you have the task to build up the machine and to hand over the documentation to your customer. And of course, you have to build then a bill of material. And at the moment, with non-standardized data, this would be a bill of material with data sets without Eplan data standards that do not follow the Eplan data standard. So there are missing data. Some parts do not have a hyperlink to datasheet, for example. There are overlapping text because the texts are not unified, not standardized. There are capitalized designations, so it's all not in a professional manner. When you want to offer this bill of material, you would not offer it to your customer because it's not a professional way of this bill of material. And there again, with the Eplan data standard, this will not happen anymore. So we have a unified way of providing these data, and also the customer do not need to change all the data sets by his own, but he can download the data from, and then also the bill of material directly looks better, it has a better shape and has a more professional style. So these are 2 examples which value and which advantages the data according to Eplan data standard has for the customers and for the engineers, and why they will use the components that have standardized data, because then they do not have to change all the data by their own. Regarding the timeline of the Eplan data standard, so this topic data and component related data is a very wide topic, because there are a lot of different data types, as you have already seen in the presentation, and there are even more different product groups for electrical engineering that are relevant for electrical engineering. And we have to look, in the end, we have to have a look on each product group specifically, because each product group has specific requirements for data. But we go there step by step to the full Eplan data standard definition. So we started in November last year with basic electrical, with the product group electrical, but not with PLCs, because this is a topic for its own, and with some mechanical product groups. And we started to define mandatory properties, and we defined the standardization of alphanumeric data. And just now in September this year, we added, so we had a look in this year on the product group PLCs and the product group fluid. And this was also the first time for the PLCs where we look on the electrical representation, so on the logic macro for PLCs. And we defined a unified way how to represent a PLC in the schematic. So this is also a new point that will come up, will help our customers more and more also for handling PLCs efficiently in our software. And yeah, we will go on in the next year with the topic. So we have some further remaining electrical engineering products that we are going on, like frequency converters or power supplies. Also there we will have a look on these product groups want to standardize also there the logical representation and the properties in the Eplan platform. This topic will be continuously growing in the next years. One look in the data portal interface. So how do we present to the users that a part is following the Eplan data standard and has high quality parts data? So here is a snapshot of the new user interface in the Eplan data portal, and there you can see that the customer can easily filter all parts that have standardized data, and then we show also at each part this small logo, Eplan data standard, that says, okay, this part where the user can rely on the content of the data, and yeah, this is a sign of quality in the Eplan data portal. Yeah, so the conclusion, what is the Eplan data standard? So the aim of the Eplan data standard is to help our users to automate his processes in this software. So to go in an automated way, and therefore we have our processes, you always need standardized data, because otherwise you cannot automate the processes. So this is what we are doing with the Eplan data standard. We fill the gap to enable more and more users to go with these efficient automated solutions. And these automated solutions are then useful for generation of schematics, but also for wiring and drilling machines. So there's the whole process of the engineering and production phase can benefit from this Eplan data standard solution in the future. So that's it. Thank you for your attention, and please feel free to type in all the questions, all the remarks that you have in the question and answer possibility here in the WebEx. Thank you. And I will hand over to the next presenter. This will be Markus, is it right?
Should be, yes. Thanks, Thomas.
So Markus.
Thank you, Thomas. First, let me start to share myself via the video, and I would like to share some information. So let's see if it works. And yes, it looks like a mess, and that's me. A warm welcome from my side as well. My name is Markus Schneider, and I'm working as a business owner in the master data team as well, like my colleague Thomas and Josephine. And I would like to give you in short status and introduction of our, we call it report center, which gives you the opportunity to get some market insights, I don't want to start with a presentation and with a slide deck. I would like to start with the Eplan data portal. Hopefully you can remember this data portal from Josephine's presentation. And I'm starting here because I guess it makes sense what we would like to analyze, which tool, and this is the reason I give you the opportunity to get a better understanding how is the user behavior of this component data in the Eplan data portal. The Eplan data portal, the report center itself, as mentioned, gives you some market insights of the user behavior inside the Eplan data portal. What does it mean in detail? It means you can track how many times was your product downloaded, in which region, in which country, etc. So this gives you a good overview regarding your how can you reach your user, how can you reach your customers and our users. Now I guess some of you will know and will get the question, oh, please stop one moment. We have such a tool still in place. We call it Report Center, and this is right. We have actually a Report Center with this functionality, but the existing one isn't state of the art anymore, and we have to update it step by step due to design, UI, and especially for the functionality point of view. What we will can offer you as a new function, you will see a dashboard where you can see as well the EDS share for your components and for the components in general in the data portal. This means you have a very good understanding if you follow the trend when you go ahead with this EDS standard, or if it doesn't make sense for you to make this huge effort to spend so much time to give us the right data. For the upcoming years, I will explain it a little bit later when we go to the Outlook slide. I will share you our ideas for the upcoming years when we're talking about lead generation or how we could track usage of component in projects. But this is just a vision, and it's not fixed now. It's still in the validation phase. Sometimes the monitor is not freezing. Okay, now it works. Once again, I don't want to bore you with all these insights which Thomas gives you already, and Thomas and Josephine. Just one short remark is the Eplan data portal is an exchange platform from component manufacturer who are providing their component data in the data portal, and that all users of Eplan can use this component data for their engineering processes and maybe for some other stuff, but this comes when we come into this Outlook section. Now I would like to jump back and give you a short overview how this report center looks like in detail. So here you can see this is, we call it dashboard, and this is the first page of our report center. And here you have a very good overview of all the relevant numbers from this data portal. Here you have seen, here you can see this the latest download numbers with a trend and with a comparison for the last month. I do not wonder for me, it's not a big surprise that we have this red arrow. This means we have less downloads like in the months before, but this is quite clear due to the vacation period. Here you can see on the right-hand side how many parts we are offering in the EDP meanwhile, and you have here some more insights like a user number and manufacturer numbers. And one very important thing is we have lose so many words and time regarding our EDS standard and that it is such important. You can see this here on the left-hand side, that you can have a good understanding what are the actual share of EDS parts in our Eplan data portal. It doesn't look so much, but when you think about when the EDS was launched, I guess till now it's a huge success, more or less, that we have so many EDS parts available. Meanwhile, in the EDP, and the number is growing from time to time. What you can see here in the graph as well. This graph doesn't give you so many informations because we have launched this EDS standard a few months ago, but you can see here how the acceptance factor is. With this graph, you have the possibility to use this slider to get in a deeper detail analysis for the time period, and here you can track what are the download numbers for this dedicated time period. Now I have to jump back to my presentation mode. Main reason for this is I would like to show you the other 4 sections of this of my tool, but here, as mentioned, we are talking from market insights, and we are talking from market insights from real partners from us, and I don't want to share these insights with these huge amount of participants in this session. Here you have the possibility, when you click to the manufacturer part, you can you have a detailed analysis possibility to go deeper into product groups. Generic product groups mean electrical stuff or mechanical stuff, or you can go directly into real product groups like terminals or something like that. Here you have the possibility, like mentioned before, to choose a different various time periods and make a very detailed analytics of your dedicated product groups. And you have here on the left-hand side the top 5 download parts from your chosen groups. Here you have some nice diagrams and graphs. What is the country with the most share of these component groups? And yeah, this is what you can see here on this slide for sure, with this typical map where you can track what is your main region for your different products. On the next slide, you can have a deeper look into this. You can go a step further in this detailed detailed analyzing. That means you can have a detailed analyzing about different part numbers, and here with this different download shares, etc. So here on this on the left upper corner, I would like to lose some words about this download shares. Here we are trying to give you an indication of your download numbers comparing to your competitors. And I guess we are still in the validation phase with our legal department and due to GDPR, if this is allowed or not. But I guess this is a good indication for you and reflect how far you are with your product in the various markets. And last but not least, here we are on the slide where you can see here on the bottom, you have the possibility to check which company has downloaded which component. But here as well, we are still in the validation phase due to GDPR. Here I received different feedbacks regarding if this is allowed or not, but here this could give you a very good indication of this various download behaviors for the various download behaviors. Please do not wonder regarding these gray boxes here. As mentioned, I don't want to mention our partners in this big audience here because they are trusting us and these are validators. I would like to lose some words regarding our outlook and our roadmap. And I have started this on my first slide. In this year, in the last 3 months, we would like to give you the same functionality like the existing one. And in addition, we would like to give you the EDS shared analysis possibility as well. Means you will have a good overview regarding this EDS share and how is this EDS accepted in the market. For the upcoming year, we have many ideas in the pipeline, but we are still working. We are working already to customize the filter functionality. That means if you would like to choose or create your own region, you have the possibility for that. The same is for the dashboard and all this market share. And here with these functionalities, we can give you more opportunities for really detailed analytics. And here we have some ideas in mind, but it is a little bit too early to mention it here in this round. But here I'm very open for feedback, and I'm very glad to get feedback from you. When we're talking the next steps behind, then we're talking about a lead generator, and this is very similar to the companies. What I have shown here on this on the screenshot, the lead generator means I guess it would be helpful for the component manufacturers to get a detailed analytic who has downloaded which component, which an email address, and so go on, that you can have, after this download, that you have the possibility to get in contact with this dedicated engineer to sales activities or to answer question or something like that. This is what we have in mind, but from the technical point of view, it's it would be feasible, but here we have to have in mind that we are we have to follow the legal requirements for the European Union, especially when we're talking about the GDPR. Component data usage. This is just an idea, but this could be very valid that you get a better understanding or a further understanding from how your components are used in which projects and how are the components used. I guess this can be very valid for you. And the point open means here I mentioned the price information because we would like to give our to forward some price information to the user and make a better analytics about that. But this is, see it more or less as a placeholder. I guess with this analytic tool, we have a huge opportunity to give you the possibility to get a better understanding from the market, which are we all participating from. Thank you very much for your attention, and thanks for listening. If you have any questions regarding to this report center, or if you need some support for ProPanel, please send me a message. For the report center, I'm quite sure that I can answer these questions, and I'm very happy to receive feedback. And if you have any questions regarding other products, I'm quite sure that I can handle this and that I can forward it to the correct person. And now I would like to stop my sharing. And I would like to hand over, I guess, to Jennifer, isn't it?
Should be.
Yes, Marcus, thank you. I appreciate that.
So now you are the presenter.
Okay, great. I will share my screen.
We can see presentation.
Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you, Marcus. So as I mentioned earlier, my name is Jennifer Payne. I'm the business sales manager and cover the Americas, support the Americas. And today I'm going to be reviewing a little more in detail selectors and configurators on the data portal. So we've spoken about the importance of component information in the selection process. So we have the users are able to select data within the data portal, and then they use this information to create circuit diagrams and part lists, and then figure out calculations, move into production, which in the control cabinet and construction. They're able to complete the documentation and logistics. With selectors and configurators, they continue to help the engineer in supporting their workflow even more in depth. So we know that with the selector, it can support them through a simple product selection, and then with actual and EEC with the configurators, there is actual generation of ECAD data for these highly configurable component parts and solutions. And as I said, I will go into a little bit more detail on what we offer within the data portal. So as my colleagues showed you, we have a new Eplan interface, and now the selectors and configurators are just really a click away. So when you open the data portal within the ePulse environment, you have this button right here now that says selectors. In column A, it's going to show you the selectors that we offer. And then in column B, you're going to see all of the configurators that are available. And as we like to say, again, with just a click of a button, users are able to get into these selectors and configurators, select their parts, and then are able to download with just these buttons. And as the manufacturer, when you offer these selectors and configurators, you're bringing this to thousands of electrical engineers. So the new Eplan data portal is a win-win for manufacturers and our users. And with our modern user interface, it easily, you just saw that the selectors and configurators are really easily visible. It now becomes a valuable sales multiplier for device and component information that our users are able to access very quickly. It enables the users to integrate them directly into their engineering projects, and then they're able to create bills of materials for procurement. So again, when the manufacturers offer the selectors and configurators, users are able to save time through this direct transfer and offered through the component data. So we offered 3 different options for our manufacturers if they'd like to integrate their data into the Eplan data portal. We have a selector, a basic configurator, and then an EEC configurator. With the selector, there is no data generation. So this is basically we're opening up this link and this exchange of information. So the data so the manufacturer would have to have an existing web selector. 95 to 100% of the selection variants are available in the data portal. And the nice thing about having a selector is that the users are familiar with the way in the field how it looks. You know, if they have experience using the manufacturer's selector already, they're able to easily, you know, do that within the data portal. So the example that we've shown, I believe my colleague Josephine showed it, is that we have that with Schneider Electric, which it's their actual selector, and we open that exchange where users are able to see that information. The second option we offer is a basic configurator. This does have the generation of alphanumeric data. So again, there has to be an existing web configurator. There has to be the data and created within the ePlan data portal like macros, and that does depend on the part type. And we right now have that as an example of Vega on our data portal. And then thirdly, we offer an EEC configurator. So this is where generation of macros and alphanumeric data is occurring in the background. So this again is offering a deep link. It just has the opportunity to provide a lot of information, you know, to our users, the ePlan users. So there is, the manufacturer does have to have an existing configurator, possibly P8 and Pro panel. You do need EEC software, and then EEC hosting by ePlan or by the manufacturer does have to occur. Again, and we did show an example that we do have this in place with our sister company, Rittal, and we do offer one with Anderson Hauser. So who we're currently offering, again, just a high overview. We have configurator with Rittal, Anderson Hauser. We do offer one with Rexwell, Vega, Metalwork, Schneider Electric. And for our user, and the benefit for our users when there is the availability of a selector, again, is that they can open the ePlan data portal either in the browser or within the ePlan platform, and then they're able to use the criteria specified by the manufacturer. So as you see here, this is in the format that Schneider Electric would normally offer their information on their website. Now our users, the ePlan user, can easily see that within our platform as well. So that's one of the great benefits as for the selector. And then we move over to configurators. Again, so with the one click, the engineers can choose one of the product's configurators. They can open and make the necessary specification changes, and then they can determine if they like to use that part and import it into their shopping cart. They can either configure the part they previously selected, or they can enter key figures, which are used by the configurator to provide matching parts. So, and then after this, the import user can use this part as they normally do. So then they can download it and then import it into their projects and utilize this new configured component. And as we stated in before, this is a very huge time savings for the engineer. And again, it gives them access to thousands and thousands of parts that may not be available on the data portal without a configurator. So if I'm not sure if hopefully you could see, this is just a quick demonstration of the selector, if you could see it. But if not, I know that Josephine did go over there. It's really with a click of a button that you can select the selector, and then the user is able to select the component that they're looking for, and then they're able to easily download that and calculate that, or it'll calculate the information within the selector, and then they're easily able to download it into their parts list. And so again, we like to just say with a click of a button, that's really easy with the new interface. So what are the next steps? So you can contact any of the master data business sales manager within your area, and then we would define what entry point and what you would like to move forward with either a selector or configurator, and then we do an evaluation, and then we would follow up with all the technical teams that need to be involved with the process. So thank you for your attention. Again, I gave this presentation this afternoon or morning in the U.S., and my colleague Juan Castillo gave this information also in the morning, so we put both of our information. But as I said, you could reach out to any of the business sales managers in your area, and they can help you. Thank you. And I believe I'm going to pass it back over to Marcus.
Yes, please. Thanks you, Jennifer. I'm starting to share my content. So let me. Marco Schneider is back. I have forgotten one parameter during my introduction, because when I'm introducing myself a couple of minutes ago, because as Tim mentioned, I'm over 40 years old, and so please, I'm sorry when I'm not a digital native sometimes. I would like to show you some features of our, we call it import tool, and I would like to start, like for the report center, with this Eplan data portal. Just as a short recap, what is the main focus of our services here? So with all these data which you can see here in the data portal, have to be deployed somehow to this database, and with all this functionality for this user and for our partners. So I would like to give you an introduction. What we have in mind to make this deployment process and the upload process and the update process easier for you, and that we have a better exchange for this data in general. Now I jump back to this to the presentation mode, to my slides. And here, these are the key functionalities of our import tool. So in the first step, and this is one of the most important things here, is we offer you in the upcoming future an automated onboarding process of the component data. And this makes the life more easy for you, and saves a lot of time, and with a lot of time saving, you save a lot of money for sure. And if something is going automated and very simple, you have the possibility to update the data very fast as well. And so you have the possibility to keep your data in the data portal up to date in a very simple and easy way. A valid question would be why you start with this import tool now and not 4 or 5 years ago. This is very simple, because now we can use some synergies for some neutral formats and standards. I will come to this standard a little bit later, but this is a must for this kind of automated system. And you will see a short demo where you can see how does it work. Some few words where you can find it. This is an ePulse application. This means you don't have to have any Eplan skills or any Eplan licenses or something like that. You as a product manager can use this tool very easy to get the parts into the Eplan data portal. And there's one side effect which we found out during the development phase. We have the possibility to give you a very detailed EDS analysis. This means we can give you a feedback if your component data fulfill the EDS standard or not. And you can download it and you can give it back to your development department or to the responsible persons. And I guess this can help you to get your parts ready for this EDS standard. And last but not least, but this is more on our roadmap and more in a DEAR, we would like to have a link to a partner systems. And here we're talking about, we have in mind something like PIMP systems, where we can automate it, have it transfer from data into our data portal. Eplan data portal, I don't want to borrow you with this again, so I will skip this slide. You heard it more than twice. But here I would like to hold on a second. Thomas has presented this slide during his session, but this is very important and I would like to underline it. When we're talking about the content of the Eplan data standard, when you can see which functionality we have to fulfill with this standard, you can imagine that it isn't very easy to find a neutral exchange format which contains all the needed information for this. And this is what I meant before when I mentioned using synergies with classification standard. Now we have this standard. It is the standard E-Class Advanced. It is from a non-profit organization in Europe. But with this exchange format, we are able to generate all this needed data groups, let's say it in this way, to fulfill all the engineering processes which Eplan users have to fulfill. And now I would like to give you a short demonstration of my tool. This is, you can see it here, is this is a dashboard, how it looks like when you start this import tool. So for sure, you won't see Markus Schneider here, but yeah. And with this, you have the possibility to upload files, to work on these files. And how does it work? I would like to show it to you. Here with this upload function, you have the possibility to upload an E-Class Advanced file in a very easy way. For sure, you can use a drag and drop function, but I don't want to show it to you quite now because everyone from you has seen it before, how a drag and drop function works. And now we have this E-Class Advanced file uploaded into our import tool. So, and here it is. So here for sure we have some nice attachments, which my colleague Stefan has prepared for the session now, but this is how it looks like in general. And this design is the same like in the data portal, what Josephine present you in the beginning of our session. And here you have some very nice details. And here you can see the E-Class version. Here we are talking about the E-Class version 11, which is more or less the latest one. And we can be supporting E-Class versions from 9.0 till 11. This is how it looks like. And now we have to work on this parts a little bit because what you can see here on the status, we have 3 dots, and with these 3 dots, it reflects the actual status. And this means we have to work on this. We called it mapping. It means, as mentioned, we're working with this E-Class functionality and with this uploaded EDS functions. And so we have to map these properties with these E-class properties that every field and every property is correct mapped, and that we can go further, and that the EDS is fulfilled in the Eplan data portal. And when you finish this, the second dot would be switched to blue, and then would switch to blue. And when all dots are blue, you can publish this data. But I don't want to waste too much time now, and would like to show you what you have to do with this third dot. Here you have to give these 3D files the correct orientation to fulfill all the requirements from all Eplan services. And here, when Thomas has mentioned the digital twin, and Josephine as well, and when we're working with this, and we would like to have a 3D model to reflect our cabinet, I guess this is well needed. And here is what you're doing here. You have to give the correct orientation that you can fulfill all the after that you can fulfill all the needs from the engineering processes from Eplan. And with this, if you have done all this, you can, for sure you can delete it, but then you can press publish, and then this this component data will be forwarded to the Eplan data portal. The quality check will be automated done. This is on our roadmap. I can't promise you when we can finish this, because yeah, I can't promise you when we can finish this, but I'm quite sure that we have the first process for this ready in the upcoming months. This was it for the E-class file and for the automated process. But what I mentioned before is we have the possibility to check something, to check a data set regarding these EDS standards, that you have a very easy tool to check if your component data are ready for EDS or not. And you can do the same. You can do it with this already imported file. You have here the possibility to see, okay, with this fields I have to do something. You can download this file as an Excel, in an Excel format, and then you can forward it to the dedicated department in a very simple and very easy way. You can do the same with we call it an EDZ file. EDZ file is a file dedicated for Eplan. This means you have the possibility to check an existing data set due to the EDS standard. Here you can do the same. Check it, download your Excel file, and now you can work on these attributes, on these properties. And now with this, you have the possibility to add all missing information to this EDZ file. Please let me look on my list if I have something forgotten. I guess not. But I would like to jump back to my presentation. And just to sum up a little bit, my key messages for this new onboarding process or import tool. So now we have two possibilities for the component manufacturer, that they can provide the data to this data portal. First possibility is they are Eplan key users, and they're creating the data by themselves. They forwarded them to us, and then the content quality team will organize and apply the deployment to the Eplan data portal. Or if you don't have Eplan skills, you can contact us that we can that we create this data for you, or you can contact a partner from us for data creation that someone is getting in contact with you that to create this Eplan data set. What we can do now is, due to the neutral format with E-class and this import tool, what is reflected with this pictogram, with this picto, is you have the possibility to map an E-class format, an E-class file to our Eplan data standard, translate it and uploaded it directly to the data portal. The same you can do with an EDZ file. For sure, I have shown it to you that you can check if this EDZ file fulfills the EDS standard. If yes, you can upload it by yourself via the import tool. And for sure, we don't want to stop with E-class Advanced or with EDZ. For sure, we are making we are thinking about other exchange formats, what we can do here. It is too early to promise something here in this round, but yeah, we are still in the evaluation phase and checking out other formats. And for sure, and this is very important, we won't skip anything or something like that. So if you don't have the possibility to provide an E-class Advanced file so far, or if you don't want to do this, you have for sure the other possibilities like now. So the import tool is an additional onboarding process for our partners and for the component manufacturers to provide us the correct data. Thank you very much for your attention. Hopefully you have some questions, and I'm looking forward for your feedback and for your comments. And I would like to hand over now to Tim. And I guess we can start with an Q&A session now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. Again, we are a little bit faster than scheduled. The same like this morning, actually on the minute, I would say, Markus. It's like perfect timing. So should there be any non-answered questions coming from the auditorium, we are very happy and pleased to help you to answer those questions. If not, I think you know where to reach us. The Eplan Data Portal team. We are also available after the virtual fair. That's also not a problem at all.
We hope you've enjoyed the presentation today and got valuable information for the Eplan Data Portal update. Please enjoy your time today, the rest of your time at the Rockwell Fair, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.
So I'm Jeff Kilburn, ePlan Managing Director in the United States.
Hello, my name is Chirayu Shah. I lead Digital Partner Program at Rockwell Automation.
Hi, I'm Matthew Hansen. I'm a Partner Manager at Rockwell Automation, managing some of our digital partnerships.
Hi, I'm Thomas Keller, based in Europe, and I'm looking after the sales in Europe for ePlan.
All right, so to kick it off, Industry 4.0, the next industrial revolution, China 2025, a lot of these global initiatives highlight the fact that industrial companies need to get after digital transformation. They're already on their journey. Some of them are starting at a different point. Some of them have brownfield environments. Some of them have greenfield environments. Some of them are global in nature. But most of them have challenges tying data across their enterprise and creating purposeful, contextualized information that can help them make better decisions and improve total cost of ownership, reduce enterprise risk, and really drive productivity across their industrial value chain. That's where we come in. We as Rockwell have been market leaders and have been serving industrial customers globally for 100+ years. We have understanding and domain expertise of vast industrial customer types ranging from oil and gas, mining, to discrete manufacturers like automotive and then CPG and what. So again, ability to serve those customers across that industrial value chain using our expertise is really critical from supplier perspective. But we realize that this digital transformation journey is very, very complex, and it requires ecosystem of partners. And because of that, we are bringing the digital partner program, and this digital partner program is built around market leaders who are domain expert, who are leaders in their own space, who can work together with other companies and provide differentiated experience to our customers. We focus on co-innovation, where we can purposefully create products and solutions together with our partners that can help our customers get more when they use our products together. So truly drive that 1 + 1 = 3. And as we add more partners, really provide that industrial value or a digital value across the supply chain. From digital partner program perspective, we have different categories of partners starting across the life cycle, from management consulting firms to technology partners to system integrators. And this ecosystem is critical, as I said, because as we technology providers like ePlan and Rockwell provide solutions, you will get value of integration between our products, but also the ecosystem that can help deliver solutions across the board. So today, when my colleagues will talk about Rockwell solutions and ePlan solutions, you'll hear about the value of data. You'll hear about the value of driving productivity for our customers and how we are leveraging our core capability and competence and domain expertise to really create differentiated offerings and value for our customers. ePlan and Rockwell have had successful relationship for a long time. You will hear about how Rockwell has adopted ePlan data strategy and how we have created libraries for our components that creates value for us, but also creates value for our customers when they are developing their digital solutions, be it OEMs, machine builders, or end users, operators. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff, who will talk to you more details about ePlan and Rockwell partnership.
Yeah, thank you, Shirayu. I think the combination of ePlan's technology and Rockwell's technology really delivers a compelling value proposition to our common customers, and really helps them drive their profitability in a way of increasing efficiencies through reduction in the overall time and effort it takes to execute an automation solution, and increased accuracy of the work that's done by each discipline. And a lot of this value comes from really connecting that digital, making that digital connection between the logical connections that are present in the ePlan platform for the electrical schematics and electrical circuits with the logical sequence of operations that are put into the the control system via Rockwell Studio 5000 software, and a lot of that is done today quite often manually. And between the two organizations, we can really make that digital connection where there's a continuous flow of data, and that means accuracy and it means speed, and then drops a lot of profitability to the bottom line of our common customers. And in particular with Rockwell, Rockwell's made a significant investment in putting a set of data out there into their components that are on the Eplan data portal, and that really significantly increases the ability of our customers to execute at a very high level the engineering and manufacturing of those automation solutions, and really enhances the entire sequence of connections. So you think about from an engineering standpoint, having at your fingertips all of the data that helps you execute from an engineering perspective for all those automation objects that are used to put that solution together. Think of how much heat is in the cabinet, what cooling do you require from there, how do you name things, how do you put into your control system, common definitions of things, and have that data transfer automatically from Eplan's platform to Rockwell's platform. And that, but by doing this and making that digital connection between the two organizations, between the disciplines, it really enhances our customers' value and helps them really transform the way they do their business on a day-to-day basis. And I think we see a number of customers really taking that step up. Now there's more than ever a catalyst to actually initiate change, whereas we've been in this industry for decades doing things with drawings and with spreadsheets, and making this digital thread connection between the two organizations and the value propositions we independently provide, and pulling that all together with customers is a compelling situation for customers, and really accelerates their business. And I think one of the things often overlooked in that is that not only does it drop to the bottom line some efficiencies, but we see customers, and I've experienced this in my own career with both organizations, to enable you to have the ability to drive your top line. If you can do things faster and more accurate, you can drive your business as a whole. And so that's a compelling value proposition to many customers in the market today. I think maybe, Thomas, you might have some comments on how this affects certain customer types and how they are realizing that value from Eplan and Rockwell together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. So I think you talked about data, and I always say it all starts with data. We want to have a digital thread. We want to have a digital twin, whatever you call it. So it all starts with the right data. And with the right data, yeah, having it at your fingertips and having the full power of the system, because it's data driven, yeah, with the right data. So looking at the OEMs, the machine builder, but also the panel builders, what kind of benefits can they really gain by working in this, let's say, in this way, getting the benefit from a database oriented system versus their traditional, let's say, other drawing methods, comparing that. So first of all, for an OEM, the advantage is, of course, they often have existing designs, so they have proven designs. They can reuse these designs. It's almost like a template, so they can use a design that already works well, and they can reuse it, modify it, and that's definitely a great benefit working in this digital world, and with the high efficiency also. Keep that in mind, that by using this kind of database methods or database as a foundation, you also achieve a lot of efficiency. And then, of course, You mentioned also the top line, Jeff. I think in your as an OEM, as a machine builder, you have to deal with your customer. So you want to deal with your customer. You want to engage with your customer early in the design process. You want to be fast in that bidding process, and get your first draft, your result to the customer quickly, and then you also have iterations. And if you are completely digital and data driven, you can have these iterations much more quicker. You can look at different variants. You can convince the customer really with your customer with speed and quality, so that enhances your position in the market. Another topic, of course, is always what happens after. You have a bill of material, of course. Many bill of materials today are very manually from drawing packages, and the information flow within the company is somehow disrupted by being in a very manual process there in many cases. But by doing it almost automatic, this bill of material, you save time. You really can use in this whole process with your customer, and you have a much better collaboration with your customer, and also think about again these iterations we talked about. So the bill of material then changes automatically because it comes from the database. So that's a big advantage you have versus a more manual process. And we talked about documents you produce. We talked about the value chain for you as a customer when you an OEM or a machine builder, or you have the panel builder, the right documents. Yeah, how do you supply the right documents to these other departments? So the flow of information is a really critical part of this whole engineering process we talk about here together with our customers. And from a European perspective, really have a lot of examples where we have this kind of collaboration, exactly that the customers appreciate the connection of the Rockwell tools and the Eplan tools directly in their software. So that's really going in a great way. So this partnership is really a key benefit for Eplan, also from a European perspective. So Matt, maybe I pass the word to you.
Yeah, sounds good, Thomas. Thank you. Yeah, and just to follow up a little bit on what Shirayu opened with, we're building an ecosystem of best-in-class partners, right, to really augment what Rockwell Automation does, and really deliver, a unique set of capabilities to our customer base, right? And one of the big things I think here is we're trying to help our customers really unlock their digital potential, right? So specifically with, some of these partners, we're really focusing in on, digital engineering, right, is the kind of topic of this conversation today. As Thomas said, it really comes down to the data, right? And we're really trying through that data, bring together the design of products, manufacturing processes, on your automation, right, across, the entire, industrial life cycle, right? So whether that's early in the design phases, in the build phases, across the operations or maintenance phases, right? We really want to, drive the use of that data across that entire life cycle. Through both Shirayu and Jeff and Thomas, we've talked about some of the benefits here, right? But at a high level, this can really help improve time to market, minimize downtime, and really add agility into the overall, life cycle process. Again, as Jeff and Thomas said, right, the Eplan technologies really help enable customers to improve their efficiency, the accuracy of their electrical designs, ultimately into the automation systems as well, right? But it just doesn't stop there. Jeff and Thomas mentioned Studio 5000 and some of the workflows there, right? So again, starting with that data, right, into an electrical design, bringing that into the automation design, right? You're able to really drive efficiency by starting earlier in those design processes, right? in parallel with all of this, as mechanical design is moving on, that can be brought to life with Rockwell automation product called Emulate 3D, right? Ultimately, the automation design and that electrical design, that can come together through Emulate 3D to allow the validation of new lines, right, in a completely virtual manner. So you can imagine the value that this can bring to our customers, right? It can dramatically reduce, commissioning time. It can manage risk on programs, and ultimately it can help improve initial yield and initial quality of new lines and manufacturing assets that are just being brought online. So this is really just the beginning of what's possible with an ecosystem approach, right? When we start to layer on Rockwell automation capabilities with the best-in-class capabilities that our partners bring, we really can help customers unlock their digital potential and do it better digitally.
So as you heard from Jeff and Thomas and Matt, the value of industrial ecosystem, value of data, and how we can bring contextualized information across the value chain is really, really critical to customer success. And customers can really benefit both from top-line perspective, as Jeff said, as well as improving productivity, as Matt said. Think of different use cases around virtual commissioning to productivity across different departments within your organization. No longer we are into siloed, electrical department doesn't talk to automation department. We're really mechanical, electrical, all these engineering disciplines can really share information more proactively because we as vendors are building integration, bi-directional real-time integration, so that you can share information and be productive as you use our capabilities together and truly allow our customers to use best-of-breed technologies and tools that you really love and admire and use those effectively. On the back end, we can connect those workflows through data models and information layers to really create the productivity that I'm talking about. So power of best-of-breed technologies, bring together with integrated solution and create value for you. That's what we are about. That's what we really are. That's when we call ourselves successful for our customers and create that differentiated experience. And I'll yield it back to my colleagues here and maybe have them summarize maybe a couple of key takeaways.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would just add that we talk about it from initial concept to commissioning, startup, and even into your runtime and maintenance. There's value all along that digital chain of industrial automation. And when we collaborate in these best of breed scenarios, we've got examples of workflows using some really cutting edge technologies with all of the partners in the digital partner program. And Matt mentioned Emulate 3D, but we've got workflows on the maintenance side that we have put into practice now with PTC as well, another part of the digital partner program from Rockwell. And all of that, allows every piece of the we call it the ecosystem of industrial automation, from the end use application through the integrators and OEMs that build the machines and put it all together for them, to a lot of those people build their own panels. Some of them use a separate organization, and to enable that digital thread through that entire ecosystem of customers with the partner program of Rockwell, I think really, to Matt's point, unlocks a lot of value for them. And it's, as I said before, it's not just in the ways of efficiencies, but it's also enabling speed to market. And speed to market means we can drive the top line business for our customers. And that really is a game changer here. And having all these partners work together provides, I think, a unique value in the market.
I'm Johnny Wilson, and welcome to the August edition of the Top 5 Questions that was submitted to the Eplan Solution Center. How can I draw a structure box with a recess? So I've got two structure boxes. The one on the left shows the designation in the structure box recessed with 90 degrees here. So how do I make the one on the right will look like the same. So we need to check some settings first. So if we go to the options, and then settings, and then we're just going to go to the project and then the name of the project, and then in graphical editing under the general tab, we want to make sure the draw structure box with the recess is checked. So once that is done, then I just double click on the structure box and then I change the value from the left top outside at 0 degrees to the left top inside at 90 degrees like so. So if I click OK, then you can see that this now matches up. To make this setting apply for all the new structure boxes I inserted, I can just double click on it and I can just toggle one of the values. So I like to just change this from bold and then uncheck it, and you can see that now I can save this. So I'm going to give it a new name, so I'm going to call it demo default here. And then if I use it as default from now on and click OK, and if it already exists, you can overwrite it like so. If I click OK, then I can insert a new structure box. I'm just going to give it the same name, so I'm going to call it skid and click OK. So you can now see that this one inserts like the other ones do. How can I create a macro project? So to create a macro project, the easiest way is to take a copy of the project you are working on. So here I'm going to go project and then copy. And then I'm going to give it a name and I'm going to call this top 5 macros. And then I'm just going to go for only interactive pages and then click OK. And now I've got a copy of the project. The only thing I need to change to make this into a macro project is to right click and go to properties and change the type of project from schematic to macro project. When I insert an accessory in Pro Panel, how do I change the orientation? So I'm going to drag this terminal cover in here and snap it to the top, and you can see that the rotation of this accessory is correct. If I try and place it on the bottom, you can see that it does not rotate as expected. So you can manually rotate this by pressing Ctrl, Shift and R and press it again to get it upside down. And then when I place it, you can see it's going to snap there correctly. We can make an adjustment to this macro, so it will always place the accessory in the correct orientation. So to do this, what I can do is I can cut this device from the cabinet, and it's going to ask me for a base point. I'm just going to use this one here. And then if I jump to my macro project, which I've got open here, I can go into this new layout space I have created and then just paste it. So it's going to ask me for a base point. It doesn't matter where this is. I'm just going to place it here. And then in the macro project, it's going to show me all the different mounting points on this device. And I can see this bottom one is the one I want to work with. And I can see that the Z-axis is pointing up and away from the device, and then the Y-axis goes up, and this one, the X-axis, goes to the right. So to rotate this, we can just click on the mounting point and go to Edit, Graphic, and then Rotate Around Axis. So the axis I want it to rotate around is the Z-axis, so I'm just going to click this one here and type 180 degrees. So once I do that, you can see the Y-axis is now pointing down. So when I insert the accessory, it will be placed in the downwards orientation. So once I've done that, I can right-click and go on Properties, and I'm just going to grab the macro name here. So I'm just going to select it all and copy. And then I'm going to go to this new layout space and go to Properties down here. I'm just going to paste it in the macro name here. So I'm going to paste the name here also, and this is just because I like to organize it by the actual file name. So I'm going to hit OK. And then once I've done that, I can regenerate this macro. So I can go to Project Data, Macros, Generate Automatically. Make sure you got the Overwrite Existing Macro box checked and click OK. So now when I go back to my demo project and I place that same device, so if I go to Devices, mine was MCB109, I can drag that over like so. And now when I place that terminal cover, I can see that it snaps correctly here and also here. So I don't need to manually rotate it now in the future. I've made changes to a macro, but when I insert the macro, I do not see these changes. I have a simple macro here, and I'm just going to regenerate it by going to Project Data, Macros, and Generate Automatically. Notice this is variant A. I'm going to go to my schematic project and insert this macro, and then place it here. I'm going to update this macro by taking a copy of it, and then I'm going to paste it below here. I'm going to make a simple modification to it. I'm going to make it 2 lights and wire these ones up here. Like so. I'm going to change the variant to variant B. And then I'm going to regenerate variant B. When I insert this new macro, I should have the options of variant A and variant B, but notice how variant B does not have the additional light. So what is going on? So if I go back to my macro project, I can click on the macro box and right click and go to select associated objects. As you see, only this first circuit is highlighted, so that is what is included in the macro box. We have a few options to correct this. One way is to select everything inside the macro box, like so, and then right click on the macro box and go to assign objects to macro box. So now when I right click on the macro box and go to select associated objects, you can see everything is highlighted. We can also do it a different way. So if I go back a step and change this back to B, and I do my select associated objects again, I'm back to my previous step. So another option is to double click on the macro box and to change this setting here, so manual object assignment. If I uncheck that, Eplan will automatically include everything that is inside the macro box. So if I go to select associated objects here, everything is now included. So I can regenerate variant B by going to project data, macros, generate automatically. Okay, so now when I reinsert the macro, it should be functioning as I expect. So here's variant A and there is variant B. When I insert a macro with a placeholder object, how can I delete or hide these? So here I have a macro that I inserted from the data pool. It came with 2 placeholder objects that I can use to adjust certain values on this macro. Sometimes it's desirable to hide these, and to do that, the easiest way is to change the layer visibility. So to do that, let's go to the project data and then layer management. And the 2 layers that we're interested in is the macro layer here, so Eplan2020 and the placeholder object. So if I just scroll across to the right here and uncheck the visibility, and then also the property placement for the placeholder object down here, and this is Eplan551. I just scroll across and change the visibility, and then I can close out there, and as you can see, they now turn gray. And if I go to view and then turn off invisible elements, now they are hidden.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rockwell Automation Fair at Home. And today's presentation will be about the application of Eplan solutions in the food and beverage industry. using Eplan pre-planning and Eplan Fluid as the two solutions to get you started quickly and efficiently. My name is Sean Mulherrin. I've been with Eplan for over 25 years now and currently working for the product management responsible for Eplan pre-planning and Eplan Electric P8 as well as Eplan Fluid. So let's get started. First off, I'll just give you a brief introduction of Eplan pre-planning and getting a better understanding of what the purpose of that software is. When we talk about Eplan pre-planning, we use it as an application to start capturing information up front. And in the food and beverage industry, a requirement is to design PFDs, process flow diagrams, and P&IDs, process and instrumentation diagrams. So using Eplan pre-planning, you can cover those tasks, and you can also generate data sheets, generate specification sheets. You can structure your data. You can use the system for quoting and capture all of the information you need to start your controls design. Pre-planning can help you capture right up front all of your elements for process flow diagrams, such as define your tanks, all of the parameters associated with those tanks, identify what type of tanks you have, as well as the piping between those tanks to carry the various substances from the different mixing and processing tanks. Then you can capture all of your actuators, which are the devices that help you to carry the substance from one tank to another, such as your pumps, as well as your valves. Some of these valves are pneumatically actuated, where Eplan Fluid comes in to control all of the airflow to those specific actuators. Pre-planning also allows you to capture all of your sensors, all of your temperature sensors, your pressure sensors, your level sensors, your flow sensors, all of the sensors that help you monitor and also control your process system. And once those items have been captured, you can also use pre-planning to tie them all into instrumentation devices. So linking the actuators, so the pumps or the valves, with the temperature sensors or the pressure sensors in any given device to make sure that the process is correct. The huge benefit of pre-planning is not only can you capture your graphical information in the design, so while you're creating your P&IDs, you capture information, but on top of that, you can structure that data within pre-planning. And you can see here you have your storage area, tank farm, storage tank edition 1, you've got your pumps, you've got your valves, you've got your level controllers, you've got your level indicators with alarms. So everything can be designed in a structured environment easily and conveniently using your graphical design. Additionally, if you have data already stored in Excel sheets, such as instrumentation lists or device lists, equipment lists, signal lists, all of those types of lists can easily be imported in Eplan and used as a starting point for your design or a starting point for information into your detail engineering. Here we can see a structured view capturing all of your I/O requirements. So signals, whether it's inputs or outputs, digital or analog, can already be captured early on in the process design system and made available for your control systems later on. Additionally, importing the data, as I just mentioned, from external sources can help you also create data for your system easily in a structured environment. Pre-planning provides you the option to generate reports. So data sheets, specification sheets, equipment lists, cost estimation, signal list, all these types of reports that are today typically captured in Excel or using Word documents. You can easily generate these reports in Eplan and then use those reports further down the line or use them with your supply chain if needed. Eplan pre-planning can also be used as a quoting tool, meaning that once I've created my P&ID or I've imported data using my structure, I can report this data and summarize all of the requirements, such as identify how many I/Os do I need, digital, analog, or also calculate the planning time, the costing time, or the construction time, or the software programming time and the total cost. These can all then be added in a report and used for quoting purposes to get an understanding of how much that system is going to cost. So at the end of the day, pre-planning would be your tool in the food and beverage industry to help you design your process control system. Let's jump into the software and see how that works live. Here I am in the Eplan platform environment. I've opened up Eplan and now I'm ready to start my design. So first off, we've got different types of pages, whether you want to capture your P&IDs, your electrical schematics, your pneumatic diagrams. Here we're going to start with our process control systems. So I could, of course, start inserting my symbols and start building up my design using symbols that are standard out of the box in Eplan. So here we've got our P&ID library with symbols for process and instrumentation diagrams. And these symbols can easily be inserted in your drawing. Here we've got our electrical engineering symbols. These are all of the actuators. Then we've got our fluid power symbols, which are pneumatic or hydraulic actuators. And here we've got our process and engineering symbols, which are all of our symbols, such as valves, such as piping components, such as engines, and so on. All of these symbols can easily be selected and then inserted into the drawing to start your design. However, Eplan provides you with a much easier and quicker approach to start your design. This is called the macro technology. The macro technology is a collection of symbols that have already been created and combined to a specific circuit. Let's say I need a tank. So I'm going to insert a macro. This macro contains a tank with already predefined valves and ports. So let's take a look at this tank with 3 ports. And there's my graphical view of that tank that I can easily now drop into my pre-planning structure. Here is my process system 1. So it carries with it some level sensors. It carries with it some the tank and also some air control valves. So these are my pneumatic valves with my pneumatic actuators. I'm going to bring in that system in here and I'm going to add it to my design environment. So this is one way of really quickly and easily starting off your P&IDs by inserting already predefined sections. So now I've got my air control valves, I've got my level sensors inside the tank, and under the level sensors you can also see that I have my level functions associated with them. And if I synchronize the data, I can easily see this information available in the tree. Each one of these objects can carry any type of data to help you reporting or also managing that data for your design environment. So here you can put cost of construction, of planning, of software if you want to. You can add technical values such as minimum, maximum values, state of aggregation, type of substance, and so on. Then I'm going to insert a pump. I need to carry my substance into the tank using a pump. So I'm going to insert a Windows macro. This is this time not going to be my tank, it's going to be a pump. And this pump, using the tab key in Eplan, you can actually carry up to 26 different variations of the pump. So here I'm just going to drop a pump for my supplement process. So this is this one here. I'm going to add it here to my process 1. And I'm going to carry another pump for the main ingredient up here. And then using my connecting symbols, you can see that the system automatically places the lines and you don't have to do anything additional. Then I'm going to insert a substance. So identify the substance that I want to pump into my tank. So here's my substance. So I have a supplement here. Bringing this, and this also brings with it all of the piping information. So what type of pipe is needed, is it stainless steel, what the size of the pipe is going to be, what the class, and everything additional associated with it. Here's my second piping definition coming with it and defining that particular environment. So as you can see, creating P&IDs is really easy by simply using the macro technology in Eplan, helping you lay out your data structure. Now, I've created a P&ID. Now I'd like to design the control system for these particular valves. As I mentioned earlier on, it's the tie-in between Eplan pre-planning, which is your P&ID inner structure, and Eplan fluid. So now in this case, behind each valve, I've also got the valve actuator, which is my pneumatic actuator. And if I look at this actuator, I look at the properties of that actuator, I have some data, but I also have a macro. And this macro allows me to simply drag and drop my pneumatic control system directly into my design. So here is that control system associated to that valve. But before that, I need an air preparation unit. So let's insert an enclosure. I'm going to delete this one here. And let's just insert an enclosure into my system. So insert pre-planning macro. It's going to be my enclosure system. This enclosure system, via drag and drop, I'm going to create my electrical power supply. So you can see here, I've got my power supply. Then I'm going to create a new pneumatic air preparation unit. So here's my pre-planning object. This is going to be P&E 1. It's going to be my air preparation unit. And behind this air preparation unit, I'm going to store the macros or the design needed for that particular system. So here again, I'm going to use the macro technology in Eplan to help quickly and easily lay out that particular system. So if I go here to my P&ID, my machine layout, pneumatic. There we go. My air preparation unit is right here. Okay, so now I've associated the circuit diagram to this object, and now all I need to do is take this air preparation unit, drag it into my system, and here we have my air preparation unit with all of the pneumatic controls, as well as my beginning for my valve manifold. So there's the start of my valve manifold, there's the end of my valve manifold, and now I'm going to link it up with all of the air control valves that I've placed in my P&ID. So if I open up the P&ID and I look up those three different pneumatic controls, so I'm going to select them, and via drag and drop, I can just drop them into my system, and now you can see my process system 1 now has my air control valve, AC3. There's my supplement inlet valve, and it's connected to my valve manifold, and it's connected also to an I/O. So using pre-planning allows you to create your objects up front for your P&ID, but also capture the objects that you'll need for your pneumatic system, and via drag and drop, easily integrate these designs into your detail engineering. Hence, making it a lot easier to quickly create your P&IDs as well as your pneumatic control system. So that was a brief view or introduction to pre-planning using pre-planning and Eplan fluid for food and beverage applications and streamlining your controls design. So from my side, Sean Mulherrin, thank you very much for attending this presentation, and I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the automation fair at home, and make sure to check out the live Eplan content. There's a lot more to see. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us today. My name is Hanan Sheikh, and over here I have Andrew Fortenberry and Troy Green from Eplan USA. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. As you can see, it's a beautiful day outside, so can't complain. So today, what's going to be happening is I'll be asking you guys some questions about like your overall experience by working with Eplan and just kind of getting your firsthand view of like what it's like to be working behind the scenes. So I'll start off with you, Andrew. I know you deal with a lot of customers firsthand. You're always talking to people about Eplan. What would you say like is like the biggest benefit that your customers have gotten just by switching over to Eplan?
So just from that one question, what's the single most benefit? It's really not a one single benefit. It's the satisfaction and gratitude knowing that you can, as an Eplan trusted advisor and business consultant, we can go into a prospect's manufacturing facility and really point out their bottlenecks and challenges throughout the entire phase or throughout the entire manufacturing phase, from winning a bid, creating schematics, to all the way to shipping of the actual product, whether it be a machine, a panel, anything of such. But the biggest benefit is really going in and being an advisor and pointing out, I don't want to call them flaws, but the bottlenecks and challenges. And then once they do implement Eplan and they see the benefit that they are increasing productivity, improving efficiencies, really reducing their ROI and time to market. And it's having the new Eplan companies or new Eplan users stand out from their competitors. It's making them able to say yes more often, opposed to, do we have the budget? Do we have the time to get this job done in the specific time frame? So I'd really say the biggest benefit, it's from my perspective, it's actually helping a company instead of just selling a product saying, thank you, good luck. It's we stay constantly engaged. We help them grow. So in a short little segment nutshell, that's kind of the biggest benefit for me personally.
Understood. And before I forget to ask you guys, so our viewers are aware, what's your guys' background with Eplan? Like, let's start off with that. Where did you start with Eplan, and what do you currently do here at Eplan for both of you guys? I'll have you start, Andrew.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, so my name's so we skipped all introductions. My name's Andrew Fortenberry. I've been with Eplan 3 years to the date. I am a regional account manager for the Southeast. I currently cover North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and also manage some key accounts such as BMW, Volvo, Volkswagen, and Boeing in the Southeastern Territory. Currently overseeing Eplan Platform as a Service sales throughout the U.S. Standpoint right now, it's a new cloud-based software such as P8 Select and a Pro Panel. We're currently offering those two products here in the U.S. We will be expanding the cloud-based portfolio. Also, I'm the host for the Efficient Engineering podcast. It's Eplan's newest podcast, so check it out. So yeah, that's a little bit of background about me. So Troy, it's on you.
Yeah, thank you. My name's Troy Green. I've been on the inside sales team for coming up on 2 years. Right now, I cover the entire East Coast as well as the South, so I work with Andrew very closely. And I'm also working on a few channel projects here in Chicago, where our headquarters is.
Very nice. And Troy, I had a question. I know you mentioned that you work with a lot of customers in inside sales. What would you say is like the biggest challenges that you face with customers prior to them switching over to ePlan? Like in the beginning stages, what's like the biggest concern that you see a lot of customers in this industry face on a daily basis, and how do you help overcome those challenges for them?
Mhm. So there are definitely many challenges customers face, and they all have different challenges. So our job is to go in, meet with them, look through their entire engineering process, and see where ePlan can really help. One of the biggest challenges that ePlan does help with is time savings. With how our software works, it enables clients to work on projects a lot quicker, get them out to their clients a lot faster and of higher quality. One other thing that we also see is the documentation. So the documentation that ePlan is able to provide to these customers, it gives their customers more information, and everything's a lot clearer, easier to follow, and is automatically generated. So you take out a lot of human error as well.
Understood. Wow, that's exciting. And what would you say, like, in terms of like working for the company? What would you guys say is like your favorite part, like working for ePlan? What would be like a highlight of, being a part of the team?
One of my favorite things is the flexibility. Everyone here at ePlan, everyone's very close. Everyone understands that you have a personal life as well as a professional life, and things come up in both of those lives. And so people are able to cover for you if you need that. Everyone's a very close, tight-knit group.
Understood. Very cool. And I know that there's an upcoming fair. I mean, Rockwell is about to come up. And what would you recommend our visitors to first go to? Like, what's like the coolest thing at our booth that people should visit?
Andrew, do you want to go on that one?
Oh, I still haven't even spoke about my experience. So, Troy, you need to tell the viewers, the listeners out there where they need to go at the Rockwell Automation booth.
There's going to be a lot of different components to our virtual desk, I guess you would call it. The part I would say everyone should go check out is the different webinars and tutorials that we're going to have. Everything on there gives you a pretty good look of how ePlan works if you're not very familiar with it. And so it's a really quick hitting place to get some good information before going into a very in-depth conversation about ePlan and how it can assist your company.
Understood. And Andrew, before I forget, I'd like to hear your experience as well with ePlan, and also so our viewers are aware, like what are people to expect from the ePlan booth? What are some cool highlights that they should look forward to?
So is this two questions rolled into one right now? Am I about to have to just am I getting bombarded?
I'm making this as efficient as possible. No, but I'd like to hear I would like to hear your experience, man. How's everything been with working with ePlan up until now, and how long have you said you've been with the company for? What, I believe 4 years you mentioned?
3 years. So I can make it as cliche as possible and be like, it's fun at work. But ePlan's a lot more than that. I mean, yes, we are a global company, so it gives us the opportunity to interact with many different nationalities. And the beautiful part behind it is the common factor is we all want the same thing. We want customers to succeed, whether it be in the northern market, anywhere in Europe and China and Japan and Canada and Mexico, South Africa, South America. We all have the same end goal in mind. We want customers to succeed. The great part about ePlan personally is that it is an extremely diverse company. And what do I mean by this? So every single year we go on an annual global sales meeting in Europe. This year it was supposed to be in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And of course, due to COVID-19, it got canceled, which was probably a good thing at the end of the day. But it gives you the opportunity to travel. And when you do travel, it gives you the opportunity to physically interact with all of our colleagues, all 650 sales personnel on a global scale. So it brings people together with the same commonality and end goal in mind. So that's one of my favorite parts and best memories. A gentleman, Michael Plain, he's an account manager based out of Hamburg, Germany. He was kind of like my sales coach first started. So he came here to the US and worked with me for about a month here locally in the States. And when I went to Dresden for the global sales meeting, Dresden, Germany, I ended up staying after for about a month in Germany. We went all over Germany and he brought me into meetings and just seeing the differentiation of how companies use ePlan in Germany opposed to how they use ePlan in the States and in the United States. It's a complete difference. I was actually speaking to one of our current customers, a gentleman named Slavik Karatian from Sunoco, and he's from Europe, but some of his counterparts from Sunoco, they'll be using AutoCAD or any other CAD drawing. And the crazy part about it is they will not be using ePlan, but if they're creating schematics, they say, well, yeah, we're ePlanning. So just the market share and the visibility that ePlan has in the European standpoint, it's just mind blowing. But yeah, back to your question, just getting the chance to really see the difference between and also experience the different culture in the German or in Germany, the US, the different customers, companies, cultures, their experience with ePlan. And just from that experience, it was my personal takeaway. I was able to relate and provide stories and feedback to customers here and prospects here in the United States, because at the end of the day, people buy from people they like and people they trust. And when I first started with ePlan, of course, I did not really have any personal stories to explain and portray. And it's like, this is why ePlan is the right solution. And being able to firsthand experience and see the success of customers, not only here in the US, but in a European nation, you know, they might have a parent company over in Europe or elsewhere. And it's like, okay, well, this is what they're doing at your parent company. Why don't we look into ePlan here in the States? You know, it's a subsidiary, it's a sister company. So it's so many different takeaways, and I am truly 100% passionate about it. And I can go on and on and on about why ePlan, the experiences and everything like that. But back to your question about where to visit at the automation fair. So I shall say, go to the cloud booth and check out ePlan Platform as a Service. It is the very first cloud-based, SaaS-based solution that has P8 Select and also ProPanel. So whether you want to create your schematics in a 2D or anything like that, or you want to utilize a 3D virtual prototype, digital twin, however you want to say it, you can still use the powerful database-driven, digitally backed ePlan in the cloud. Essentially, it's like Netflix on wheels, you know, username, login, boom, boom, boom. I'm rocking and rolling using ePlan. So yeah, it's a beautiful situation. And also in the cloud environment, we do have ePulse, and then under the ePulse platform, we have eView, we have eBuild, we have eManage. A lot of our products are going to the cloud, so there is a ton to check out. So I highly recommend going and checking out the cloud environment. So yeah, that's
awesome.
about it from
me. I wanted to ask you one more question based on what you just said. Like with your experience in Germany and overall in the U.S. market, do you think that helped you figure out like different challenges that were present in the different markets? Like, was it very vast than what we deal with here in the States, or did you see like a similarity in terms of what people are needing in terms of the market for ePlan?
Oh, it's 100% different. I mean, in Germany, I don't want to say that the engineering efficiencies are light years ahead of the US, but in a way, they kind of are light years away. I mean, you think about a production paradox or a paradigm shift. It's everything is moving and transitioning into the digital realm, Industry 4.0, the cloud. And if you're not efficient in improving your engineering capabilities, you're going to get left behind. And I don't want to say it, but I mean, you're going to get pushed over to the curb, and a competitor who's improving their efficiencies and standardizing their processes and wanting to be competitive in the market, whether you're a 5-person shop or a 100,000 employee enterprise company. It doesn't matter the size of your company or what industry you're in. If you're not competitive in the market, you're going to get left behind. So just really seeing the differentiation. It's the mindset and mentality for improvement in Europe that I saw that was the biggest difference. Here in the States, we've always done it this way. Why change? But change is upon us, and it's happening in front of our eyes. I don't know, Troy, if you want to add anything to that. I mean, you have had the chance to be in Europe and stuff like that. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that.
Yeah, no, everything that you've been saying is a very common thing that we hear at Eplan. Eplan has a very large share in the market over in Europe and over in Germany, and in the US it's building. Even just the year and a half, 2 years that I've been here, I can already see more people asking for Eplan in the US, wanting to learn about it, seeing how it is becoming the standard here. So I believe we are really transitioning from how it is over in Europe and Germany to here in the United States, which is definitely very exciting.
Yeah, I remember when I first joined the company, there was like just a handful of people in the office, and fast forward 2 years later, now we have a whole office full of people. So it's exciting. It's
Yeah,
crazy how
definitely.
far we've come, and it's been a great ride thus far. So I just wanted to say, guys, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate you guys giving me some insight as your experience with Eplan and also what to expect from the upcoming fair. Awesome, guys. Well, once again,
We
thank
just
you
want to
so
help you
much for
out.
your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Enjoy. So very exciting. And are we going to be bumping into you guys on the virtual fair? Like, if people have any questions, can they reach you? Will we
Yeah, I know I will
best?
be on there, and I believe Andrew will as well. I don't think we have the exact schedule out yet, but that should be coming very short.
Awesome.
So I am not participating in I am not participating in the virtual fair, but we will have meaningful amounts of account managers, technical consultants, managers, and so wherever you are on the booth, just reach out to someone if you have any questions. If you have any additional questions and you don't get your questions answered at the Rockwell Automation booth, email info@eplanusa.com. It'll go to our inside sales department, Mr. Troy Green. He or Scott Miller will get all your questions answered. Make sure that you are happy, and yeah.
Thanks for joining us today on Eplan Live. I hope you enjoyed the content and had a chance to visit our booth at the Rockwell Automation Fair at home. Join us again tomorrow for even more content, and don't forget you can always